say anything until I tell you you can say something. We're going live. I have allegedly royalty-free music. Dallas spoke. Dallas spoke even though I said I'm going live, which means I'm hitting the button that says we go live. So we're rolling. Hi, Internet. I've told these guys to shut up for like 5 seconds until the 30-second mark passes. God, can you imagine if only I talked for...
Omega.
Can you imagine... Yeah, it's. I think it's fine. I think we'll pass it. But can you imagine if I made you guys not talk for 30 minutes? God, that would not work.
I don't know. I don't know what that'd be like.
I couldn't do it.
I probably would have left, made a sandwich, gotten dessert.
I mean, David, you could just leave it. No one would care.
Ouch! Wow.
Fucked up, Max.
You're lucky you passed the 37. Yeah. He said that at second 37. I think we're okay.
No way, I made sure to mute myself.
Oh no, I would 100% blame that on Axe.
That was absolutely Axe's fault. Talk shit, get shot, as we say. Hi, hello, welcome to Fail Portrayal. It's been a little bit.
I thought it was talk shit, get hit.
I've heard it both ways. To quote my favoriteest show ever, Psych. Hi, welcome to Fail Portrayal. Tonight we will be doing Mist Valley, eventually. We threatened you guys with this a while ago. But first, another funny haha streamer thing happened. Let me just hide my original window capture and pull this bad boy up. So there was a new ban list recently.
Oh boy, here we go.
It couldn't tell.
It didn't do much at all.
It's interesting. Now you may wonder, hey, what do we care? We're not competitive players. No, but we do not use the historical traditional list when we do progression, because that would require me to do even more research and figure out every week what our ban list is and then get everybody to remember, which won't happen.
I mean, we might should Omega, because we could talk about it, but quite a few archetypes are about to get dead on arrival because of this list.
Possibly. We'll have to see what happens. I mean, you can play one of... I mean, if you can't play Zoo, well... I cry for you.
Well, no, it's not. I'd be willing to do the ban list research if it's.
The only thing that matters is cards.
The primary problem there is, one, there's a lot of cards that we allow at 1 that are not at 1, and I mean, there's some stuff we had to do the prohibition because there's some stuff that's at 3 in modern, but it's a lot of work, and then it's not just the research, it's also getting people to remember. We can't get players to remember the ban list we make that's like 12 cards. Robin's still out here playing Monster Reborn. Okay, but Axe, just because Robin forgets to check his deck before he does it doesn't mean that the rest of you do. Audience at home, actually you might not, because usually I don't get recording of that, but I will tell you guys, several times have I been in the room, Dallas is in the lobby, and he's like, wait, hold on, leaves. I have to go double check my deck to make sure I don't have a banned card.
Oh yeah, no, there's a mad scramble in the last 10
Many a test game.
Just before we go live, there's a lot of that, and also, yeah, Love was about to say... a lot of test games we go, oops, can't play that card.
In my defense, I often make decks and then leave them for a little bit and then come back to them. And I completely understand. This is the ban list from like 8 weeks ago.
I remember. I was playing my Fabled deck earlier, which I hadn't looked at in a couple of weeks, and I was like, oh, I still have Lance in this deck. Whoops. Can't do that.
So as I've been trying to say, like, the only thing that really matters is more what cards get unlimited and then what cards are unbanned.
Like, honestly, our current system, this will make it so you can actually play Pendulum. Because let's go into the list. Let's scroll down. This is a forbidden list. All these cards are forbidden.
Yeah. I think there's a limit card that is really going to affect our format.
So look at all these remarks. These are not new. None of these are new. These are all banned. You can only play one. You're not gonna play one of those. Ah, here we go. Here's a card.
Hashtag unban Electromite.
Yeah. I mean, they'd probably put Electromite to 1 anyway, so I don't think that matters for us. You can still play.
Oh no, it doesn't matter for us. I just mean in the actual context of the game.
They should. I don't know what. Maybe they're unbanning all the Pendulum.
Pendulum hasn't been relevant in 10 goddamn years.
Let's see.
And I gotta be real. There's a lot of these There's a lot of these boys that I'm okay with staying on there. Put that shit on there.
Unban Yatagarasu, because seriously.
Yes, Yada they should unban because it doesn't matter. And I think actually there was talk about this at Top Cut. Victory Dragon doesn't actually work because.
Oh no, it does not at all.
There's a lot of.
I still want it to stay banned. I want it to stay banned just for the principle of it.
Yeah, same principle.
I mean, every other card that has that effect is not allowed in legal play anyway, so they should probably just.
It's the same thing with. It's the same thing with Exodia. realistically, they could put Exodia to 3 and it would change nothing because the best ratio for Exodia is 1-1-1-1. But they keep it limited because they like it being limited.
Yeah, they don't want you running 3 copies of Exodia in your deck.
At least for us, this is more just our limited list, which is not
yeah.
bad.
Because of the power of
Oh god, we're gonna have to deal with Shockmaster.
We can play one of. I think Shockmaster was Shockmaster a promo?
I think Shockmaster is a promo which we agreed to never put on the list.
Good,
yes, much like Utopic Zexal. Utopic Zexal does not appear in the card bank because I'm not having that shit. Whoa.
Most of the Xyz monsters are cards that I'm fervently okay with never coming off. There are a few like the Volval, Tomahawk, Tomahawk with Lanky in it. Never mind. The Volval, Ptolemus, Zenmighty.
Rungumiad, I believe, is only degenerate in some other decks. It's not related.
If I'm going to be honest,
if
I'm going to be honest, I don't think VFD has to stay banned forever.
Yeah. I think I think it's at 1, but MX Saber Invoker's not bad at 1.
Yeah, Rungumiad.
Well, here's the problem with Invoker. It's
MX Saber Invoker is too good.
Yeah, it will be abused in its current form. Invoker needs an errata. Is the problem.
Yeah.
Dark Matter, no.
And then there's just, look at all these fucking, like, there's Brilliant Fusion, but then just look at all these DM staples. Return, Elma, Change of Heart, Cold Wave, Confiz, D-Duo.
Not all of these are...
No, not all of them. Just look at how many there are. You know, Duo, like Dimensional Fusion, Trunade, Charity, Heavy Storm, Coliseum,
most
Last
of these
Will,
were banned in the DM era.
Yes, that's also true. It took them a while, but there's only like a couple that aren't. Like Soul Chargers, I think a little bit later. Grass is Greener.
Soul Chargers is Xyz.
Brilliant Fusion.
Brilliant Fusion is Xyz.
Zodiac Barrage, obviously. What was the other one I saw in here?
Also, LOL Zoo players are dead.
Yeah, Zoo is super dead.
Yeah, it's just like...
Very few banned traps. So here's the limited list. So we scooch down, you see some stuff. Oh, hey, here's a new one. Ava. Ava is limited now. This is primarily a Drytron hit. This affects fairy decks.
I think it should have been banned, but that's just me.
Look, obviously, Konami saw the format that's going on, and we're like, yeah, we like this format.
Also,
I mean, to be fair, David, that is generally how most people I have heard talk about this format. It's okay.
The two cards I would have hit out of Drytron personally would have been Herald of Ultimateness and Herald of other thingy.
And I'll be honest, I don't know
the Searcher one.
Oh. I don't know the current format very well.
They're not gonna hit Diviner. She only just got imported.
Ava was from the same set as Diviner.
There's maybe only one thing that I've heard of that I'm like, yeah, no, that should totally be on the forbidden list, and that's Mystic Mind. That's the only.
Mine not banned yet. Also, to the salty tears of guys everywhere, Dragoon's still unhit. Spoilers. Dragoon has not had without Max C. Dragoon has not had the impact over here that it had in the OCG. Like
the Infernity Archfiend should come off. I'm just gonna say it.
Maybe.
Hey, okay, so this is a dumb thing.
Infernity Launcher should not come off.
If they banned, like plain Red Eyes Dragon, would it stop Dragoon?
No, because you can pick an effect monster. I think. I don't know. Does Red Eyes Fusion require normal targets?
Type monster, I think.
Yeah.
No, it's Dark Magician or Red Eyes Black Dragon or a level 6+ effect dragon monster. It doesn't. I don't even remember. It has to be Red Eyes. I think it has to be Red Eyes.
I guess it more depends on what Red Eyes Fusion does.
Yeah, it depends on if Red Eyes Fusion needs normal monsters, which I'm pretty sure it doesn't. It's just any valid Red Eyes targets.
Regardless,
so no, Axe. That's brainworm talk. That's some Reddit.com shit right there. No.
I was more just trying to see how do we stop Dragoon without having to hit Dragoon because
you hit Dragoon. That's bullshit talk. You hit Dragoon.
They're never going to.
Spoiler.
Yes, they will. He's banned in the OCG.
I do not think Dragoon should be banned.
I also agree. I don't think Dragoon should. Dragoon does some interesting things for just tech decks.
Because here's the thing. If you look at the main meta decks, almost none of them run Dragoon.
No, Dragoon keeps rogue decks alive mostly. Because we talked about this off stream. I talked about how shockingly any fucking deck can run 2 Garnets and a Red Eyes Fusion.
Also put Grass to 1. Do it.
Dallas has thoughts about Grass. I know some people who think Chicken Game might be okay. chicken.
I think grass is way more okay than chicken game.
I mean, who's here? Who's seen the Moron ban? The Moron.
Here's the
Oh, I
thing,
have.
grass-
I know the Moron ban list. I mean, I think sometimes MBTV
let go
is
recently.
crack.
I know the new one.
Just changes. Grass
remember
just
who won.
changes deck building meta. Spoiler meta one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
The finals was
that's why they-
Tri-Brigade versus Drytron.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And spoilers, that's going to be happening in the foreseeable future because
Yeah.
the big one that is not, we can skip straight to the traps. The big one that's not limited is you don't see Tri-Brigade Revolt on here.
Oh no, you know what I wanted to get banned out of Tri-Brigade? I wanted Fractal limited.
Nah,
Fractal.
they're
We'll
keeping
put the
Fractal.
screws on the deck.
Well, I
Oh,
mean,
but-
that is the thing. The thing is, I don't think Konami wants to put the screws on the deck because all those sets are about to be reprinted in the Megatins, which have been delayed for literal months. So, like, people say this as like, oh, so I heard Simo talk about the ban list, and he's like, of course Konami uses it as an excuse to sell new product. And then when he saw this ban list, he was like, what? You're not banning Dragoon to sell Destroy Phoenix guy? I think Simo and several other Yu-Gi tubers overestimate how much Konami wants to sell new product with the ban list. Like, yeah, they want to sell newer cards, but they don't need to like outright ban relatively new shit for everything because the stuff will sell on
I
its
don't
own.
think they should outright ban Fractal. I think it should have been put to
No, yeah, but they did not go there. Prank Kids Meow Mew got hit. That's their Link 1. Link 1s are usually the bullshit ones.
Honestly, Prank Kids probably came out the worst in this.
Yes,
ban.
I
Well,
don't know much about playing Prank Kids,
Other
but I've
than
been...
Pure Zoo, which
Well, Pure Zoo already had to die. I don't know what Konami was smoking when they let you play Dryden and Barrage anyway.
I think Dryden was fine at 1. No, I'm going to be honest here. I'm only supporting honest takes. The card that needed to be banned was Zeus. And
Yeah,
That
everyone
is
knows that.
also
yes.
true, but they're not going to do that. That Zeus was way too new, and
That is
honestly,
because greedy. That is because of corporate greed.
yes.
So Manga Man points out that Red Eyes Fusion doesn't care what you use.
Yeah,
as long as
it's what's Dragoon's requirements, and I believe he's just any 6+ effect Red Eyes
No.
monster and Dark.
Then
So
why
it's-
are they?
It's
So maybe
it's interesting.
maybe Red
Actually,
Eyes
you want to know why
Fusion
they're
needs to-
jamming Red Eyes? It's because Dragoon gets extra pops the more normal monsters you use.
Oh, okay.
So if you're already running 2 Garnets, you run the 2 Garnets that gives you the extra pop.
Yeah. That's why there are some variants of certain decks, like Dragon Link, I know, has a variant where they only run a Fusion and Dark Magician.
Yes, because they can make
Because they
it
can just
into
use their
a-
own level 6 Dragon monster.
Yeah, I think you can.
They could just
So-
use a Levianer or something.
Okay.
So Ava got limited, Meow Mew got limited. This I've been told this hurts Prank Kids' lines because basically
Yeah.
it makes them way more vulnerable to destruction
Well,
and board breaking. If you out them, it's harder for them to do their whole setup
I'm going
again.
to side with Distant Coder on this one. I think they hit the wrong link because what this does is they make it it makes it so if you interrupt the Prank Kid, the deck is just dead, but it's still really hard to interrupt them.
That's that I think is the sweet spot that I don't think Konami has quite figured out is the because
if they
I'll,
hit
I'll be real.
Doodle-Doo-
So many people tell me Drytron cracks to interruption. Just play hand traps, Drytron dies, right? And I think it does because there's a lot of
Like-
searching and shit going on.
Also,
Well, the
like
right
those
interruption.
those what was it, like those like bird cards ever get?
It does.
Oh
to
yeah,
draw.
Flunderies pops hard to Asher
It's
Droll.
because they're like 4 combos of searchers. So yeah.
Yes, because
Well, what I was gonna say is like I think Doodle-Doo was the hit just because it makes it so Prank Kids aren't necessarily dead if you interrupt their first combo, but it makes it so their first combo is easier to interrupt. You have less outs for it.
By
Or
the
you have
way,
more outs.
I want to point out this guy still limited, even though I believe he's hard once per turn on both.
Yeah, I don't know. There are a
Because
lot of
the-
cards on the.
The
limited
OCG
list
is
confuses
slowly
me.
the OCG is
So-
slowly letting Darkness Metal out of jail. Maybe it's because
to
Darkness
spoil-
Metal hasn't had a reprint lately.
So to spoil this, they could have put it on the semi list.
Well, yeah,
I'll
they
say
could have, but I
this.
don't know why they didn't. But
The-
so here's the big one,
the limited,
again.
yeah, the limited list has a lot of cards more so than the forbidden list that I'm just like, why is this still here?
So Beast Warriors isn't taking a hit.
For instance, why is Morphing Jar still on the limited list?
It's because it lets you. I mean, if you unlimited it,
Draw 5.
that would put people to like drawing 5 and like shenanigansing like books of moon and
Tells your
stuff.
opponent, it's not that.
But
I don't know.
I also think it's just because they don't want you to play Empty Jar.
But
Yeah.
But Empty Jar sucks.
I mean that's true, but that doesn't make it unfun to play against.
Tenki is the card I was alluding to at
Yeah,
the
so
beginning
Tenki
of
is
this
a
stream.
big hit. Now, like, let's be real.
Yeah.
I kind of in 2021, I kind of agree with the sentiment because
I do.
I have been in the Yu-Gi-Oh sphere for like a couple of years again now. How many I have seen so many decks be just like, oh, you're running a card that involves Beast Warriors, just jam 3 Tenki. It's a searcher. Like it makes sense because Rhoda is at 1, right? It's gonna be weird for us in Prague.
Yeah, and this is why I'm gonna advocate to Omega to use at time ban lists.
Well,
even if I
Dallas,
have to foot the work for it.
Dallas, my argument is we didn't allow multiple Rhodas.
Yeah, I was gonna say our format has kind of always been.
Maybe we can start shifting it at some point. Just because the reason I'm saying that, and because it snuffs out a lot of archetypes that would not have even been able to be played without it. Most obviously, Fire Fist.
I guess at the time, yeah.
It just kills that archetype because a lot of the cards require Tenki to be active. So yeah.
Yeah, if they required Tenki, we might have to talk. But let's see. Like, there's some dumb stuff in here. Like, why is second?
If only
I'm
we
just
could
saying,
use
if
it for
it's a
lesser
work
play,
thing, I think
Engage is
I could do it.
Didn't take it back.
It sounds like Tenki probably needs to be eroded or something.
No, not really. Like, it's only good as a generic searcher. It's just that
Konami needs to stop.
Actually, look at what Tenki does.
Beast Warrior archetypes.
when you play it, you get to add a Beast Warrior to your hand. I think it's level 4.
Should it really just been
Well, no, I've been Tenki'd a couple times in Duel Links.
should be a
Well,
ride
the Duel Links
to
meta
just
is
be
fake
Fire
and wrong,
Fist.
so that doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, no, it is.
The Duel Links meta is not something to judge anything
it's like
by.
speed duels. It's
but
so
I will-
cultivated that like it's so weird.
Yeah, but I will say that Tenki has a lot of text. A lot of.
No, the important part is it searches a level 4 or lower beast.
That's what everybody uses it for. I feel the casual.
Yeah.
But like, why is Sekka's Light still down here? Why is Light Stage still down here? Also, they
Yeah,
didn't take back Engage. You know.
Light Stage is literally just there because of degenerate OTKs.
I don't know why people
Now, our semi-limited list grew a lot. Malicious has some friends now.
Konami, I just want to say this before we get
go for
moving
it.
too
I
far.
was just scrolling down.
Konami has an issue of out of touchness where they don't realize that if they hit certain cards, cough cough, Topologic Bomber Dragon, they could unban like half the ban list.
That is true. Well, and that I think is why people are like, oh, they want to sell. I don't know if it's they want to sell product. I don't know what the fuck Bomber Dragon.
Well,
is printed in.
Topologic Bomber Dragon and the cards that support are both so old at this point that it just at this point it just doesn't make sense.
It's the question is more like, why not do it? And they are. I think it also has to do with exposure. Like Konami is a large company. They've got a lot of marketing dollars in this. It's like, why was Firewall errata rather than banned? Well, it's a fucking signature monster in an anime. Of course they're going to errata it because they want it to come back. And they carefully crafted its errata, so technically it doesn't do anything different than what it did when it was on screen. Whereas lots of schlub cards don't get that. I honestly think like Sed was only errata just because he was also like he was in some anime stuff and Sed was just so iconic. They were like, well, we gotta like bring him back.
Pour one out for some rescue cats.
Rescue Cat was just
Pour one out for the poor little
fixed so many
homie.
times.
The cat has been murdered.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
I'm also curious if Mike.
also something Necro Valley in that.
Well,
Meh.
Necro Valley's been
Well,
eroded so many
Necro
times.
Valley
because
didn't get eroded to.
Its text got fixed to actually
It
make
got
more sense.
eroded
Its
to make
text got-
judges' lives not hell.
They had to clarify its text so many times because it was weird. It's pretty nuts.
It
Also,
turns
we get to
out that
play-
disabling graveyard play is a lot harder than it sounds.
Yeah, it is. Like you can't even do like what Necro Valley does is it doesn't just like negate effects in graveyard.
It just
nor
stops
is
it.
nor is it just you cannot banish monsters in graveyard. It's both of those, but also it's straight up monsters in graveyard can't leave the graveyard. What does that mean?
It's just
The final form of the final form of Necro Valley is just going to be if an opponent plays if a player plays a card that has the word graveyard in it, It
It
doesn't,
work.
Tear the card in half and throw it in their face. Necro Valley.
No.
Oh my god, this is a dumb thing, but Yu-Gi-Oh should make a joke set.
They really
Honestly,
should.
I think they should. That would be way more productive and cool than what they do with fucking
Literally,
I get where they're going for because they can't do cash prizes. They have to give you a cash prize in the form of a unique World Championship card you can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. But those cards are pretty dumb and useless, and you can't use them in real Yu-Gi-Oh anyway.
I would love like a joke set where it's just like it's a joke Necro Valley. It's called Eternal, like really Eternal Necro Valley or some shit. I don't know.
Super Necro Valley.
So,
Put all the
mystical
cards
of
in the
minds.
graveyard. You cannot interact with the graveyard. If your opponent interacts with the graveyard, they lose. Parentheses, touching the graveyard counts as interacting. You can't even check your graveyard without losing.
Oh my god, we should have a stream that's just talking about Yu-Gi-Oh joke set. We should do
So
that.
basically, unhinged from Magic.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
yes, it's basically just unhinged.
Pay some mana. Your opponent must now get you a drink or whatever you want. Otherwise, they lose the game.
No, my
I play
personal favorite
Mug
is,
of Greed. Get me a drink or I draw 2 cards.
Booster Tutor. Just do Yu-Gi-Oh Booster Tutor, which is open a booster pack, add those cards to your hand.
Yeah, that'd be great.
If any of them are on the ban list, immediately discard them.
Actually, that would be way more overpowered in Yu-Gi-Oh than it would be in Magic.
Yeah.
I mean, with a foil every set, yeah. Holy shit, I got evenly matched.
No, just because usually in Magic there's like a 10% chance of a card being usable in your deck.
That's
Yeah.
true. Like,
Yeah.
I'm playing
alternative,
Mono Blue
also if
and
it doesn't
all reds.
specify, I think there are like unlimited printings of like old sets.
Oh.
Like you could dig up some vintage
Wait.
spell ruler
Hold on.
somewhere and just be
Wait,
like,
here's an idea.
oh, hey, I
Here's an
got
idea.
snatch
Booster
deal.
Tutor, but if any of it's an extra deck monster, you have to immediately replace it in your extra deck and get a Rupa card from your extra deck and replace it.
Nah, that's too balanced.
That's too much.
We don't want
Oh,
to do that.
It's because of the way Yu-Gi-Oh works. I think that card would actually be overpowered.
But
Oh,
here's
okay.
the thing about Booster Tutor. It would guarantee that you get a land in Magic.
Yeah, but also it wouldn't guarantee that you would be able to use that land.
That's true.
Also, in Yu-Gi-Oh,
But-
you'd probably just it wouldn't help
I
you
mean,
because
you could always use it as
I mean,
one
I don't know.
break.
It could give you some normal summons. But let's talk about the semi-limited list. I alluded to this earlier.
Yeah.
Malicious has
Yeah.
friends
Yeah.
now.
honestly-
Danger Nessie is being probationed. Nessie is moving to come back. I think that's pretty
This affects
pretty
nothing.
alright.
I'm being honest.
Honestly, I can't wait to see art of Malicious in his weird like cushy prison self now, but
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well,
'cause they
I am
kinda did
on
that illusion
team.
for.
I am on Team Sibo, where I feel like the semi-limited list should literally just be malicious.
I mean,
Well,
yeah. The
Malicious and the testing ground for
the
what they want to bring
OCG
back.
I mean, that's what it is.
The OCG uses it a lot looser. For the TCG, yeah, it's basically probation. It's like, okay, we think this card can go to 3, but we don't want to put it at 3 just in case it can't go to 3. So we put it
don't
at
want
2.
to pull a snatch steal because what the fuck was that?
I think the only exception to this in recent memory was actually Firewall, because the OCG had been doing probation, and the TCG was just like, fuck it, when Firewall has its errata, it's fucking useless. You can play 3. We don't care.
I'm honestly excited for when we get to play a Firewall because it'll be fun to play a Cyber deck with it.
Well, it's an ultra rare, though, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody will have it.
we'll have to see. We've been having some bad
Two
luck
of us will
lately.
probably have it.
Well,
been having
the
some bad
problem
luck
with Firewall Dragon currently is that it's a Cyberse only card, and currently the only even rogue tier viable Cyberse deck has a better boss monster than it.
Yeah, you don't need to
You'll
pl-
just use
you don't need to play.
what the fuck is that Towers motherfucker?
Hours.
The 5 attribute Towers Cyberse.
I don't know.
That-
Of course,
I would use
Ignister
for
Boy? Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah,
Arrival at Ignister.
Yeah, Arrival.
yeah. Arrival out Ignister
You
is
just
just better than
play
Firewall.
Arrival. Yeah, Ignisters are a thing. I think
They're a
Salamander's
rogue
doing
deck
it
because if they combo and you can't out their combo, they just win.
Isn't that most combos though?
no.
Yep.
No,
No.
the Arrival at Ignister is a motherfucker. If he slaps on the board.
Basically, if you don't have a $120 extra deck card, you're not outing him.
Is that Exo Stalker or something?
Yeah, Access Code Talker is the hard counter.
Yeah.
I'm very-
Also, thanks to the Stupid Idiot Moron ban list, I am noticing that people are actually playing Underworld Goddess of the Closed World.
Yes, that is a good card.
Oh, yeah, right,
I'm
Erecto,
so
yeah.
glad people are actually noticing that card
Because
because
that is your that's your Link Kaiju.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
which
how
is-
you-
Great for... I thought she was hard to pull off normally, but then I realized what she's actually great for is removing specifically troublesome links.
You know.
Oh, that's a nice link 3
she-
you've got there, bub.
That's actually nice, you know.
She's good for removing links and Dragoon, basically.
Yeah.
But there's
It's
a
nice
lot
to
of people
have.
that are good at removing Dragoon.
Also, good for people once we actually get the pendulum. Skull Crobat Joker. At
Yes,
2.
pendulums are
Low pendulums.
Konami has realized that pendulums are actually honestly Konami's probably realized that pendulums are okay for a long time. They just know
They just
that there are
hate
going to be
pendulums irrationally.
no.
I mean, most
The
people hate pendulums.
Dallas, the
around.
audience
No, I like pendulums.
hates pendulums irrationally. That is, I think, why. Like, I think Konami's known that pens are okay for a long time. It's just they don't want any grogs out there to get butthurt because next to the switch to synchro, I want to and possibly the switch to link. I want to say the switch to pendulums in the pendulum format is probably one of the most commonly cited as that was the worst. I hated that. I left when they made pendulums.
Oh,
So yeah.
I will say that if I have
the
been
switch to
playing,
synchro was
Dallas, you're breaking up. The audience can't hear you.
was the biggest leaving point for Yu-Gi-Oh! For completely unrelated reasons.
Not
It
just
was
repeat all that.
fucking tired of Dad. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
You stopped.
Am I speak?
Yes.
yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we're
I
looking
did
at
not
the-
realize because I had the
the-
Discord server muted because everybody else's animals. Robin is watching the stream because they're not a
the
VC.
reason people like are left during the synchro era had nothing to do with synchros. It was just Dad format killed everyone.
That's true. They don't. I don't think most people didn't actually care about synchro summoning. It was because the format was actually awful.
It was. Do you play Dad or Lightsworn? No. Then fuck off.
Was there
really,
anything
actually,
like that in
you're
the
quieter. You're
Xyz era?
120 right now. No,
No.
actually,
I
I think the switch from synchro to Xyz was fairly bloodless. Now, most people did not like Zexal because the dub is a thing, but that's about
Awful.
it.
As the
Yeah.
resident Zexal enjoyer, the dub is bad. And
Yeah,
I'm
fair.
usually a dub fan.
At
The dub bad.
At least the GX dub is
The
hilarious.
trans dub is a work of art.
Yes,
It's a masterpiece of stupidity.
I
It's
prefer to
amazing.
like I said, I need to get back to it sometime, but I've rewatched parts of GX in the sub so I can like capture the original feel. But like no, the GX dub was pretty good. Like they knew what they were doing.
Like, here's the thing. I prefer Yu-Gi-Oh! The Duel Monster Saga sub because Kaiba's voice actor is insane. Like,
Figured, yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he's
he
done
sounds
so many
nothing
great
like
stuff.
Sigurd. He sounds like an insane person. It's great.
I mean, he wasn't the same person.
I don't give a shit about 5Ds at all, so I don't care about dub or sub.
I only like care because it's my childhood, but yeah.
I like the Arc V dub fine. I like the sub fine. I think they're both fine. I think the only problem I have with the dub of Arc V is it's probably the worst about changing people's names.
Yeah, that's a valid opinion. Also, like,
Well, I mean, if you're
I
talking
mean-
about like the main character names, those were dumb in Japanese. So
I mean, they're dumb in both, but
I might need to start going. You want to start the other thing? Because
well, that's because sex
well,
is about
we did not mention we mentioned Skullgirl Joker. We're talking about pendulums.
Spoiler-
Itelli to
Mark-
2
Mark-
is weird and wild, and I love it.
Dallas, you can
This
play
is
E-Town
gonna be
right
a
now.
funny. Dude, if I swear to God, Super Quants meta, please do it. Have Super Quants be a meta deck.
Yeah, we're talking about
the
ban
ban
list.
list.
So what the
Yeah,
fuck are
no,
you doing
it's
then, Robin?
terrible.
We're yelling about the
Also-
ban list and
Also,
stuff.
like, I'm not louder. I think it's more. I'm noticing my voice is just not good for mics.
Robin, you may disagree with me, but I was of the opinion Fractal should have been put to 1. Doodle Doo should have been hit instead of Meow Mew, and they should have hit Herald of Ultimateness because I'm fucking tired of that card.
Is everyone else that I mentioned about the
I
ban
think
list?
everyone else is
just
tired about
or like,
Herald of
what,
Ultimateness
what do you
as
think
well.
should be hit by the ban list? Because our opinions don't really matter, it seems.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes it's always interesting, right? Like everybody was like VFD, 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 and then VFD got slapped, and then yeah, like there
I
are
mean, that was the
times
one,
when
yeah.
you can. There are times when you can tell, a card's getting fucking banned.
Do people even
Yes.
play virtual anymore? Besides, like,
Yes,
Yeah,
Virtual
no,
World is
Virtual
still
World
very
is-
very meta, and
Virtual World is like tier 2. It's like right outside of the big 3.
yeah, VDub fell a little bit below because they lost VFD. They lost VFD Pass. But now they have access to eTele, so they have two
Oh, fuck,
eTeles.
you're right, yeah,
they're psychics.
I-
They're
yeah.
psychics and worms.
I can't.
So yeah.
I need to somehow obtain 2 eTele so I can play it eventually.
Also,
Well, eTele will be
watch
reprinted by then.
Watch the Moron ban list tournament because VFD proves why Heavy Storm is better than Harvey's Feather Duster. Because the Mad Lad Heavy Storms his own. Oh god, which one is it? It's Qinglong? No, it's not Qinglong. It's one of the cards to search the other one. Yes, also Sigma Gaming.
Fuck.
Yeah, there's
look
so
up
much
Math-
MathMech Sigma. That's gonna be really interesting because that's a side set. That's a deck build pack. Also,
no.
guess what? I have no interest in playing MathMechs, so give me Dragon Maids.
I
You
am
receive-
going to do that.
You give
I'm
me
I
not-
Dragon
want
Maids.
to try that
You
next.
receive
No.
MathMech.
The
Actually,
Chad
fuck.
of
That
all,
set has effectively a common reprint of VFD too. That's right. That's gonna be crap.
the
Mystic Fighter's
Chad of
gonna
all
be-
Chads strategy was an OTK combo with full Mathmech Knight, full Sigma, and Utopia Beyond to OTK opponents.
Okay, this is really silly.
that does
but it's
12k
kind of a
damage,
big,
if I
it's
remember
kind of great that like most later Yu-Gi-Oh sets after I think we're reaching the point where most Yu-Gi-Oh sets are just good to a degree.
Well, yeah, that happens more and more. Is they get better and better at like figuring out at some point Konami realizes, oh wait, rarity should be a thing that's like good for cards and should make them in demand, not make them trash. And so on and so forth. It took them a while. I needed to.
Eventually, they stopped. Eventually, like they start. What I guess because they haven't done like anything past links in a long fucking time, they started reprinting everything so you can actually obtain most of the shit.
Oh, I mean, they've
Like,
always
most
been
of, like-
reprinting stuff. It's just it's the question of in what format. Like you get a lot more reprints actually in sets now. Like I don't know. I assume it was the OCG that started this trend because they started over there. But the deck build packs are actually I know a lot of people talk shit, but there are some really good archetypes that come out of those. And usually, just because they have to make a set that's 3 archetypes, usually they don't get all the support they need, but they can get the elements. Looking at you, Live Twin. It's gonna be 6
Oh,
soon.
yeah, just,
Double Sunny.
Sorry to ruin the mood, but like I might be leaving anytime. So you want to start the other thing?
Yes, but you also asked me a fucking question. You literally brought this thing up about sets and reprints. Deck build packs are really good because they're literally meant for you to use them to build decks, so they have reprints of cards that might be essential. Like, for instance, Ancient Guardians had both King of the Feral Imps and Snake Rain for Ogdo Addicts, but also those cards haven't been reprinted in like 10 years. I'm just debating how we want to get this started. We're doing Mist Valley tonight, in case you forgot. I believe did they start in the OG Hidden Arsenal?
I think so.
Yes, they did.
I feel
Like,
mine-
don't they? Then it's like it's that, and then like they become, I guess, Hours of Justice. That's kind of fucking it, I guess.
Oh, dude, the first deck build pack is sick. It's
when
6
is it?
Samurai,
Oh, yeah,
Magical
shit.
Musketeers,
Oh, God,
and a third archetype that doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, they re-released some legendary 6 along with the shadows or shade or
Along
whatever.
with the secret ones, yeah.
Yeah.
And Magical
Secret.
Musketeer are
I'm
wild and
seeing
fun.
all Hidden
I love,
Arsenal too.
I love Magical Musketeer so much.
And then Weather Painter.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here's one. Oh yeah, Weather Painter's weird.
I think
Like
they have
that's
more.
usually how deck build packs work. Is they're meant to be.
That was
like,
meta in Duel Links for a little bit.
Deck
'cause
build
of course
packs
it
are meant
was.
to have weird shit that matter that like does new things. It's not necessarily meant to be meta, but if people like the archetypes, they usually give them support.
Yeah, no, I understand, Robin, but I can dream. I
like
wanted them
the
to punch
actual-
Tri-Brigade in the dick.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just mostly this ban list. I think is like even the fact that they did it early. I think it's a problem of the fact that all the products this year are like super delayed. Like everything has been delayed
Yeah.
at least a month, if not 2 months, because of
Look.
various shipping and producing shortages.
20 years from now, they'll be calling this COVID format. Or
But,
some
What
other.
do you mean 20 years from now? I'm pretty sure that's already what it's called.
Yeah.
So let me pull up appearances.
I mean, yeah, because it's like what else do you want to call it?
And it'll...
No, Robin, there's a really easy way to solve that Drytron problem. Reprint Forbidden Droplets at common.
Put Forbidden
Then Drytron gets solved.
Actually, what does droplets do again?
Said, fuck you, negate boards.
Ah,
Is it just
Droplet
negate-
is you destroy any number of your own cards, send that same number of cards on your opponent's side of the field to graveyard. It's non-targeting, non-destruction, I believe.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have found our first
Their
Mist
attack,
Valley, who is...
send any number,
I'm
choose
reading
that
it.
many effect monsters your opponent controls.
Okay, so it affects monsters
attack is
negates.
halved, effects are negated.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
who would get
And-
hit by a Herald of Orange Light? That
and
never
they
happens.
cannot.
I mean, I've done it multiple
They
times.
cannot
It's like,
miss
yeah,
Also,
one.
I mean, you say that because it's a funny thing that happened to us, but also straight up, like, that's the only Herald people run. People run Orange Light.
it's also because it's a tuner.
Well, yeah.
and also
Well, no,
they can't.
well, okay, no, that's probably not true. You probably make Hulk off that number time, but you don't
Yes,
actually
you do.
use that to sync. You
And
don't
they-
you don't
and
need
they
him
also-
to actually tune. So,
Oh,
Mist
no,
Valleys.
you do, Omega, you do actually use him to tune because you tune to Herald of Arclight.
So
Alright,
Mist,
yeah, I
Mist
realize that.
Valley here. You saw their Shrine of the Mist Valley earlier. We've brought up Mist Valley. These are an archetype of wind monsters. Their gimmick in Hidden Arsenal, because everybody has to have a gimmick. Their gimmick is the bad one. You have to bounce yourself or bounce other cards you
Well,
control.
And then this one like,
Omega,
isn't it a very more
it's the
sexual
bad
version of
one
this?
to a point.
Well, okay, that is true. Normally this would be bad, but as experienced by having Robin playtest this against me several times, it's very funny. Robin is
There
on
is
here,
a card.
but he's yelling in chat. But they're not once per turn effects, so you can do some dumb things. And in fact, these cards would
I
probably
need to-
be in a bad way if they.
There's a certain field
weren't.
spell card that
Yeah, they have a field spell they
breaks
didn't
this
limit.
archetype.
But so these are all through the. These are all from like the earliest reaches of the power of the Hidden Arsenal. With Ice Barrier, X Saber, and Flame Veil, they teamed up together to make Allies of Justice to punch worms. And then because
Okay.
nobody cared about them, they were all killed by Trishula.
Well, to be fair, everyone was killed by Trishula.
yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
I
so
think they didn't-
technically, I think there is some. We may actually see some elements. First, they like allied with Dragoonity because the Dragon Ravine is right next to the Mist Valley. Don't ask me how the geography works. So there was some team up. However, this leads directly into Gusto, another wind archetype.
Yeah, because is that just the remains of the Mist Valley or something?
Yeah, the Gusto are supposed to be their descendants. They come back
so like
and inhabit
many
the Mist Valley.
years have many years progressed.
At least a generation.
It's-
I don't know if it's many
Yeah, it's
years.
the
Dual terminals. a little
Laval
weird.
are similarly the Laval are the Flame Veil.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
And somehow they're linked with at least some of them are linked
So,
with the Charas.
so
but that's-
basically-
The Giski are the descendants of the Ice Barrier, and boy, howdy, does that go weird.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
didn't all the Ice Barriers
Well,
melt,
and
I guess?
honestly, you can track this ourselves. We've just opened Hidden Arsenal 5 with Steel Storm Invasion. Hidden Arsenal 4 is Trishula's Triumph. Basically, in Hidden Arsenal 4, the situation gets so bad with Fableds and Worms and
The Ice
Jurok
Barriers
Meteors and
opened-
shit. They're
opened
like,
the Ice Barrier.
fuck it. Break glass in case of Trish. Trish comes out, and it's bad. It's real bad news bears. Everybody dies, and then they become new archetypes.
Isn't that after the Jurok Meteor?
Yeah, I believe that is after
Yes.
the... I think
Well, no.
technically
I thought it
Trishula
was
is...
the Meteor.
Isn't
Trishula's in
Trishula...
response to the Fable.
Yeah, Trishula is to defeat the Fableds. The Worms are taken care of by the Jurok Meteor.
Yeah,
But
the
anyway.
Drax go full-on kamikaze and just
Yeah.
go, we're gonna blow ourselves
Well,
up
the
and kill all
Fableds
the
murder
Worms."
all the Juraks, and then their angry, fiery dinosaur ghosts become a meteor that smashes the Worms? Hidden
Yeah, but
Arsenal.
like, so it's like, so
let's
it's like-
let we're not fail portraying. We're not talking about the card. Here's one of the OGs, Mist Valley Shaman.
I hate this art. I honestly
have the
hate
original.
this art with a passion.
Okay,
This
we're
is
actually
the
starting so I can talk now.
Yes.
Ha.
This is Mist Valley Shaman. She is a wing beast. and a
That's
tune.
not real.
Look at this
Sorry, I
weird
read
as
something
fuck
in chat.
bodysuit.
Oh no, I love the card. I hate the art. It's like
I don't actually hate the
it's
art.
like okay, like on first glance, I don't hate the art, but then I got a question. Like, what is she posing for?
Well,
ritual.
okay. I've realized this. Let me. So here's the thing. This is. I was thinking about this, but I found the proof.
It's the band art, yeah.
This is the censored art.
Oh yeah,
So
She's like doing.
I
a
could have
weird-
guessed this.
So
This has
the-
horny jail written all over it.
yeah, the uncensored art I think has some issues where they've poorly photoshopped a body glove on her. Now I'm not gonna
that's
say
not even
like
my biggest problem.
whether or not you are horny on main, whether or not you're a coomer, as we say these days, you know, with this lady and her bondage gear stuff, you can say that the edit of the art does look a little clumsy. They've added
Oh
some
my
extra.
god, the uncensored art is way worse.
They've added some light effects over her and some mist to hide parts of her body and just colored her in.
This looks like budget 90s hentai art.
The weirdest thing about it is it's like it still is the same thing. They're both basically on drugs doing a spirit journey. Something.
This looks like, you know what this looks like? This looks like a rejected art from Night City.
I think what Shaman was going for was she was like kind of trying to evoke the aesthetics of Harpy, like because
Yeah,
she's got the
that's
claw
good.
hands, she's got the bondage gear, like
Yeah.
that is the funny haha story of Harpy card art is Harpies are all dominatrixes, in case you didn't know.
They're all bondage furries.
Yeah.
No,
featheries.
featheries, Dallas. Come on. Boom. As said in chat, yeah, she's a Harpy lady.
Yeah.
So this is a little weird. I got to admit, I don't think I like her face redraw.
Not great.
Like
No,
I
her face
don't
is
know if her
awful.
original face is really any
I
better
don't
with
know
her
why
weird
they-
breathing mist
I-
thing.
It's
I don't know
not.
why. I don't know why they have to close it up because it's like I thought she's just.
Well, it's because she's, as
she's-
Dallas
it's
pointed
all
out, the
on
hentai
drugs.
art. She's absolutely making some blowjob lips there.
No,
Yeah.
this is one of the. I'm
very
gonna
horny.
say this: the uncensored art, the original art, is one of the worst Yu-Gi-Oh pieces of art I've ever seen.
I mean, it's not composition.
I don't think it's like a bad piece of art. Like from a composition standpoint, I don't think it's really there's anything too much wrong with it. It is definitely horny, and I don't know what we're going for with that in terms of the Mist Valley aesthetics.
Also, it does not fit the rest of the archetype aesthetic.
Yeah, that's
at
what I
all,
mean.
other
Like
than she has broken
I've
hands.
looked through several Mist Valleys to get here. I am not entirely sure how Shaman fits in. It really does feel like she is literally like, we did some Harpy support, let's make a new one. Nah, we made too many Harpy
Did
monsters.
they get
Where can we
Ryder to
put
draw
this on?
this? This feels like Ryder drew this.
No, because
No,
the
well,
body
no.
it's working.
No,
the
it would
body.
be better art.
No,
Yes, it would be
overly
better, but
proportioned.
also more extreme. This is just
That's true.
like it would
I
be way
still
more
prefer
stylized.
Ryder's art to whatever low-budget fucking elfin lead ass designer did this.
So let's just go to the next one before we start.
Yeah.
paying.
I need to figure out who's next. I think this works. Let me pull up the gallery on this guy. But while I'm pulling up the art, we can say what
Also, why
Shaman
does she have a
does.
millennium eye on her forehead?
I think it's because she's
She has
doing
an
the whole
evil eye.
spirit journey thing. She's doing the
So
whole
what
spirit
her
journey
effect is first of all she's a level 3 winged beast tuner. She's 1200 wind obviously. These guys are all wind. Once per turn, you can return one other monster you control to the hand to have this card gain 500 attack until the end phase. So this is a soft once per turn, so you can use it for other bounce effects. But honestly, not that great. I mean, if you have other cards that benefit from being bounced, you can give her an attack boost, but mostly she's just a level 3 tuner.
Yeah, this is definitely not one of the better Mist Valley tuners.
Also in chat, Zed, I believe you mean gimps. Dragons who are gimps.
Yeah, no, she is a gimp.
No, not her. I'm talking about harpies. There was a harpy.
Right, because
flesh.
all the dragons
But
have
she
muscles.
also
yeah.
is definitely more of a gimp than a dominatrix.
Oh yeah, no.
'cause
Like I
she's
said,
got-
this is real rejected harpy art energy, and like we
Yeah.
said, it doesn't really fit because here's Mist Valley Soldier.
Yes.
He's
An
a Mist
actual
Valley
good
and
piece
a
of
soldier. Yeah, I mean, I
But
think
I-
he's got a little bit of problem where he's covered up in a lot of layers, but
Like the face
It's
layer is
probably
kind of
cold in the
meh.
upper atmosphere.
I mean,
And,
he's
you know,
shivering. He's vibing. So
I like the blades. The blades are actually nicely made.
yeah, he's got some like some heavy chopping blades, like
Yeah.
like an almost kukri.
His scarf arm covering is just hilarious though.
It's kind of dumb.
Okay,
looking, yeah.
I do have one problem.
Yeah, his weird shawl thing's a little weird.
His nose jewelry.
I can't tell. if it
Well,
is.
it's not really his nose jewelry. I think he's wearing a thing on his head. Like here, let me get out the red pen. Let me get
He's
out
got
the
like
the
his
marker.
head
He's
and
got like
his
tail
nose.
wings. He's
Why
got like
is
he's got like
Like
tail
he's got
wings,
like
or hair tails.
a cross holder that reaches all the way down to hold up his veil. So he's wearing a clip on his head so his veil stays up.
Yeah,
It's weird.
if they just disconnected it, I think the art would have been better. But overall, I like this art a lot more.
Oh yeah, no, and I think
it's
this is
it's
more
a bird tribal
emblematic.
man.
This is more emblematic of what Mist Valleys are. This is a weird winged tribal man. He's got some cool knives. He's got some wings. He's got kind of a lightning bolt theme. He's got some.
It's a soldier of the Mist Valley, as in AKA the Mist Valley tribe.
And he's very enswold.
Also, this card is good.
Yeah, this is a level 4 tuner that's got 1700 attack, so he actually does stuff. And while you control this face-up card, any opponent's monster that battles this card but is not destroyed by the battle returns to its owner's hand at the end of the damage step.
Ooh, that can be spicy.
Yeah,
So if you-
he is a
Yeah.
he is a tower, like not a towers, but a indestructible out.
No, at the end of the damage step, he's already damaged. You take damage and are destroyed, but he bounces.
No, that's what I mean. It wouldn't affect towers, but
Yeah. But
Like an
he outs
indestructible
boss
boy.
monsters. Like if you ram a blue eyes into this guy, you just lost 2 tributes. Now he does have to be face up first, but it makes your opponent pickier about attacking, and maybe means that they don't attack him, which is really good because he's a level 4 tuner, which is amazing. With no restrictions, by the way, no restrictions at all. You can use this guy for anything. It's great.
So can it be a different dragon?
I have been shitting on Mist Valley. I will take a little bit of it back.
Immediately
Mist
bad
Valley.
for immediately bad
It's
for
okay.
better than a Debris Dragon.
Mist Valley had a top 16 tournament appearance.
Oh wow!
How far?
In 2013.
Ooh, that's
Uh,
later.
what
Interesting.
did it score
What
at?
cut did they? What was their highest cut? Was it just top 16?
9 to 16.
Okay, so
So
yeah,
top
it was
16.
first wave, top 16.
But
still made it,
still,
though.
that's better than I thought they would ever have done.
Yeah, that's
It
notable.
means they're rogue. It means they're rogue level, I guess.
Most?
No, I don't even think that's rogue. That might be like tier 2. You made top cut.
That's like tier 2 to tier 3-ish.
But I mean, that's better than most of the stuff that came out of dual terminal /
Hidden Arsenal. Yes, that is correct.
I mean, at least the
Yeah.
first wave, yeah.
So here's our second theme of. Oops, I forgot. I'm still on a red pen. Here's our second theme of Mist Valleys. You have guys with wings, and then you have Burb.
Okay, I figured out why. I figured out why they placed. You know what? Mist Valley Soldier is very good at outing
What?
What?
topically for towers.
Ah, we did talk about
Ah,
that.
that
That's
was
Towers
better
Burb.
at
We
the
just talked
point.
about how he's
Also-
Towers leader.
Just the way the beak is open and the eyes like. "Meh."
Yes.
Uh,
This bird,
I need to
this
get going still,
Thunderbird, has a
yes.
dumb face.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll be
if you've
watching.
seen the Mist
yeah.
Valley card, you might have
All
seen
right,
this
see you
one.
later,
because
Axe.
this one
Everybody,
gets
Axe is
played in
going. Everybody
modern
say goodbye to
decks.
Axe.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Axe.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
Axe.
All right,
Either
so
it
this is the Burb of Thunder.
Yeah.
You might have seen this card.
He's a bird. I don't think there's
Bird.
much to say about. So I will note he has a different
Shocking.
color palette than Soldier. Like because of, like he's still got the lightning theme, but his palette is warm greens and oranges. Though also apparently the Mist Valley is very cold. But other
With
than
a
that, I
name
don't
like
think
that?
there's a lot aesthetically to talk about. He's a bird.
Just very yellow, has that back thing, which is kind of okay.
He's got some bird stuff going on.
The fuck is this?
Has those blade things coming out.
Yeah, he's got some weird sharp things in his tail.
Wait. Oh yeah, he has a very long tail if you look at that one that's coming from the very bottom.
Yes, there's a weird perspective thing going on there that I'm not sure about, like why his one tail, or is that technically his thunderbolt mark going up his body goes all the way around? That's weird. That's a
Might
little
be.
weird.
That might be. It's just like we couldn't contain all the thunder in this bird. It has to go somewhere.
But yeah, so this is
Careful
Mist
now.
Valley Thunderbird. He is a level 3 Thunder. He's not a winged beast somehow. He is a Thunder. And this is why, by the way, we mentioned earlier, Mist Valley is a wind type archetype. It is not necessarily locked just to winged beast. So he's a level 3, 1100 attack, 700 defense. While this card is, when this face-up card returns to the hand, special summon it. This card can activate the turn with special summon by this effect. So basically, I think the ideal combo, because this guy was also Hidden Arsenal 1, is you're supposed to do this with like Shaman, and then you make a 6. Like you normal summon Shaman, bounce, Shaman gets bigger, you can have Shaman attack over, and then make a 6 or something. It works much better with Ally Birdman, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, baby Apex. Apex.
Spoiler. Ally Birdman was played in that Mist Valley deck that did well.
Yes, that did go. Also, in case you guys forgot from when we talked for 30 minutes about the ban list, Ally Birdman is still limited. I don't think
Yep.
he's
And
limited
should
back
still be
then,
limited.
But he is a guy. So Thunderbird kind of plays off the theme of returning to hand by just letting you recycle him back. He is a thunder type. He does some burb stuff. I don't think it's really anything else notable about him, so I will continue to hunt for more applicable. Ooh, did this guy technically come out first, or is that later? When was Gold Series 3 compared to Hidden Arsenals?
It was in between 1 and 2, I believe.
Okay, so I will keep that in mind for our next wave. Or possibly right now if I don't find any other Hidden Arsenal 1.
I think there's only
I think
like
there was
3.
one more.
I think there's only like 3 unless you count Mistform.
I mean,
That was the one I
technically
was-
we should count Mistworm?
It's
I mean,
related
he
at
was He
least.
was their boss monster.
Yeah, he's not actually like in the main jam, but there are several of these
I
Misty
mean, he's
boys.
coming out of the Mist Valley.
Yes.
He is a wind.
And he's a thunder, yeah. Like he is definitely related. It's just not the clearest, but I believe that is from the OG Hidden Arsenal, so I think that is our next one because we've talked about Thunderbird, Soldier, and Shaman.
Yep.
So I don't see any more, and we've gotten all the way to the bottom, unless.
Oh, and yeah, Andy's got the proper effect. Yeah.
Yeah, Gold Series 3 is next Mist, really, other than Mistform.
Yeah, so I think our next set will be in the. By the way, also want to throw this out there. I think technically it's more related to Apex Avian, but there's technically an Evil Swarm version of this guy.
Huh.
Evil Swarm
Oh,
Thunderbird.
That makes sense.
He looks a lot more like Apex Avian, but is called Evil Swarm Thunderbird. But I'm gonna pull up the art for the worm that is missed. When the worm is missed.
Yes, the worm is missed because we have Trish now.
I mean, yeah, Trishul is in terms of making a generic 9 with 3 mats. Trishul is way better. So here's Mistworm.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. There are situations I could see this being more useful.
I mean, I guess if your opponent has like 3 cards on board, you really need to bounce as opposed to just 1 pop.
Yeah. But anyway, we can
But
talk
here
about
he
that later.
be, the worm that is missed. So he's making an evil purple mist. He's a worm. By the way, this is a thunder somehow.
Yeah, probably
Don't question
shoots
it.
lightning out of his, 2 rows of teeth in his
Look,
mouth.
Thunder is one of the types in Yu-Gi-Oh that I feel like they just do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I think they had an idea with like thunder dragons and some early nonsense, and obviously like battery men, but then it got a little weird. We got weird.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe he flies. Maybe there's.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's making a tunnel, but I straight up don't know. He could be a flying worm. By the way, this is worm spelled not like that kind of worm, so he's not related to those worms in the lore. He's spelled with a U.
No, he fights those worms.
Yeah, I don't know what they were getting at with this, but Mistworm. He's a worm. of mist.
Confusing is what they were getting at.
He is a mist of the worm. And his effect is when synchro summoned. I believe it's on synchro summon.
Bounce 3.
Yeah, bounce
3
cards.
It's a good effect.
And he's a fairly big.
It's actually
like,
rude.
He's a fairly okay boy for the time. Like in modern terms, his stats are awful. He's a 9 with 2,500, but he can crash with Stardust. Also, he outs Stardust anyway with his effect.
Yeah. I was gonna say. I mean, honestly, if Trish were to get banned in our format, Mistform might make a return.
I mean,
yes,
honestly,
if we actually banned Trish, I would just straight up.
if you're running a deck that can make Trish, I would run both of them personally at once.
Yeah, it depends on your extra deck space. Like if you have better targets, but in terms of 9s, if you can make 9s, Mistworm's still not bad. Like we said earlier, it depends on what kind of board you need to get rid of. Like if your opponent has like 3 back row and you know all of them are bad news, you really need to bounce them as
Yeah,
opposed to
but
Trish banish one.
If you're playing those decks that eventually become Quasar decks, you could easily make Mistworm.
Yeah. So that's Mistworm. So now we have a couple that were in gold set 3 for some ungodly reason.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Well, actually, let me
They
double
had
check
to spread the
when
dual
this is gonna
terminal
bring-
stuff out for the Western release.
Okay, that was way later that we made Mistbird Clausous, who is a generic level 3 synchro. He's a super rare in Judgment of the Light. But we made
Yeah, no.
Ally of Justice Clausous way earlier, who was a mecha bird. So we killed Mistbird Clausous to turn him into a robot to fight worms, but we didn't print the original version of him for many years.
Ooh.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Is wild sometimes. But let's
Yu-Gi-Oh!
pull up
often
a
do
generic
not know
boy.
what they're doing.
Konami, I want lore explaining this now. And I
Oh,
want
I'm
it in
sure they
triplicate.
will. The Hidden Arsenal Volume 1 set they're going to release is going to come with the lore insert. Which
Where's a
I will
picture
do
of Mr. Krabs?
do a dramatic reading of.
Oh Jesus!
All right, so let's cycle back to a generic Mist Valley. This is a normal monster, Mist Valley Watcher.
It's bad.
You can well, Dallas, he's kind of bad, but I'll tell you what, you could at least tell this motherfucker came from the same place as Soldier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like,
Weird
I
Birdman
think
with
his
really
appearance
long
is dumb.
staff.
But I can look at him and I can look at Soldier and say, yeah, you guys hang out.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck is going on with the perspective on his chest and his pecs. Like, I'm not actually
Put this
sure
guy
it's
next
how
to
he
Shaman, it's
lined
like,
up.
what?
Oh yeah, as
Well,
another card.
the problem in that is Shaman.
Yes.
We've already discussed Shaman's art doesn't fit with her archetype. We don't know what she's doing. I like I said, I literally think that like an artist drew a harpy art and they were like, now we have enough harpies. Make her a Mist Valley.
Robin, when have
Yeah.
they ever let you search 1700 beaters?
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you can because here's the problem. Mist Valley Watcher is a spellcaster, even though he has
Ooh.
bird hands.
I guess all that watching he does mean
Yes.
sees
Well,
Which
so-
I will say
magic.
effectively makes him worthless.
Yeah. So he does have flavor text. Would you like me to read it?
Go
Sure.
ahead.
The descendant of a family that has served as Mist Valley watchmen over the generations. Never missed a single thing that happened in the valley, no matter how minute. So he's a voyeur. He's just hanging out on the walls of the Mist Valley, watching shit happen. Does he do anything about it? No, but he's watching.
I am a Watu, the Watcher.
And I think that reflects well in his stat line. He is a level 4 with 1500 attack and 1900 defense, a pretty decent level 4 stat line. And that's like fairly okay for synchro play. Like it would not be the worst move to set Watcher past summon a tuner.
I mean, he's a generic normal monster in 2010.
Yeah, and he was only released as a common in the gold set. I don't think he's super relevant. But at least, like I said, at least his art you can tell is related. He's stalking
He's a
Shaman.
misfit.
Yeah, he's just sitting there watching Shaman
Just like
like a weird boy.
those glasses must be made.
I'm the peeper.
So let us bring out another one. This one was also in Gold Series. This is Mist Valley Windmaster.
This card is also terrible.
Art or effect?
Effect.
Yeah, art-wise, it's interesting.
It's a bird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bird with 4 wings. Or is that just 2?
Yeah, I don't actually know if he's got 4 wings or he's just flapping his
I
2
think
wings.
that
I think it's just
I think
2.
that's motion blur.
Yeah, it's motion blur. I see the motion blur
Yeah,
there.
they're all blurry, so I don't know. I think it's supposed to be 2. He's got like a weird peacock and also like a weird rooster tail. I mean, I think once again, I would like to point out his color palette is wildly different than a lot of the other Mist Valleys. Like he's cyan and orange with some darker blue tips and maybe a little sea green in the tail. It's a little weird,
He's okay.
but he's all right. He's a bird. He looks like a bird. In real life, he's probably not okay. So,
I was fucking muted.
he is a
Damn it.
level 2 tuner. He is a winged beast. He is not a thunder. This is a bird. This is not some kind of weird thunderbird. He's a bird, okay? So he's a level 2 tuner. You don't care about his stats because he's a level 2 tuner. But his effect is once per turn, if both players have 5 or more cards in their hand, you can activate this effect, make both players send cards from their hand to the graveyards until they have 4 cards. It's not
Like
really
I said,
useful.
this guy is useless.
It's only a turn 1 play, really.
Yeah, but it's both players, so you can't even normal summon him and then activate his effect to make your opponent send one. You'd have to get... Well, actually, no. In the time he came out, you can draw one.
Yeah.
In the first 2 Master Rules and earlier, you could draw 1 card for turn. So technically, if you played him, you could immediately make you and your opponent send 1 card to graveyard, not even discard. So you can't even do like Dark Worlds or Fabled or shit.
But the problem with that is, Omega, why would you want to discard in a fucking Mist Valley deck?
Correct. I think the
And-
idea is you're supposed to have this guy on board, and then you do you play Mistworm and something, and you send all your opponent's board back to their hand, and then you're like, you have like 7 cards in your hand. Now you have to discard. You have to send 3 to graveyard. Fuck you.
I feel like Konami is infested with the same brainworms that the Yu-Gi-Oh community is infested with, where they're like, oh, it has a hand looping effect. It's good, no matter what.
Yeah, like I can see why they think Windmaster is goo. Also, no, this is technically not a baby Simorg, because Simorg is technically his own archetype.
Yeah.
But I can see why you would think that, because he is a burp.
Oh, yeah. So what's the...
So that was, I think, the 2 that were in Gold Series 3.
I think there's one that's sort of related, Miss Condor. Because of special summons by returning a face of Mist Valley card.
Yes.
Monster.
Where was that guy? Was he also...
It's in Gold Series
yeah, he was in
3.
Gold Series 3 as well, yes, okay. So, to the gallery. Yeah, I got an art for Mist Condor, because you are correct. He is a related card. He is not a straight-up Mist Valley card. But in the same way that Mistworm is clearly related, he is obviously related. So,
Also,
this
he was
is Mist
very
Condor.
frequently played in Mist Valley decks.
This is Mist Condor. He's a condor with a skull.
It's a very cool design of the blue with the red with the plain black.
Yeah, I like the color palette.
Or is that more like a purple blue?
That's
The-
blue wingtips and then purple.
The
purple
tiny,
plumage and,
the tiny skull with the paint on it.
Yeah, he's got a skull. Yeah. But
Wait,
I like his color palette. I like his neck feathers, which are like red, white, black. You know, the droopy knot ears on a bird are a little weird, with earrings complete even.
I mean,
But, like,
it's relatively like accurate to a condor.
Yeah, he is a giant blue and purple condor with a skull. He's cool.
This definitely feels like someone Googled condor and was like, "I'm drawing this,"
Yeah,
and then I'm making it blue.
and I think it makes sense because I'm pretty sure they don't have condors in Japan. That's exclusively like the western half of North America these days.
Yeah.
So I can see them going, "What's a giant bird that's cool? Oh, the condor, yeah."
And to be fair, condors are awesome.
Yeah, condors are sick.
They have like 15 feet wingspan. It's ridiculous.
So this is a level 4 winged beast that is wind, obviously. You can special summon this card from your hand by returning one face-up Mist Valley monster you control to your hand. If you do, this card's attack becomes 1700, and he's a 1400. So basically, this guy is a level 4 winged beast with an inherent special summon, who has a better effect than Mist Valley Shaman, because he's not a tuna. And I gotta be real, you're playing a tuner, why the fuck are you sending cards back to hand? You need those cards to synchro summon.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Mist Condor. I think he's cool.
I think it's neat.
So now we're getting into Hidden Arsenal 2, which was the second real wave of these guys that actually have cards that do things. And we're gonna start
Well,
with
that's up for debate.
we're gonna start with the one that you may actually remember hearing about.
Oh yeah, the relevant one.
Yeah, because he has 2 A's in his name. This is Mist Valley Apex Avian. He is a big board. Who is
Remember
a
when
winged beast.
Bird Up was a deck?
Yeah, we stopped that for some reason. Did people just decide
It's
playing
because
Tri
people
Brigade was
realized
better?
it was bad.
Bird Up was funny, but I think people just realized, wait, let me just play Tri Brigades.
Yeah, it's like, wait, Trevor is just better.
So this is Apex Avian. He's a big bungus.
Yeah.
And you can see it in his card art. He's a big tall boy. He's got. This is basically Thunderbird grew up, even though he's not a Thunder anymore. I still don't get it. And then he looks exactly like Evil Swarm Thunderbird. He's even doing the same pose, but that's a Thunder then, and has like half his attack and level. I don't. I don't understand. I don't understand what's up. Somebody explain this lore to me. I like Apex Avian. He's a big bird.
Oh no, Apex Avian's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got. I like the color palette, the kind of the golden yellow and the bright oranges and reds.
Like, he's not my favorite design. That's still probably fucking Thunderbird, but I really like him.
Yeah. So Apex Avian is he's a level 7 winged beast. He's wind. He's got 2,700 attack. So yeah, he's got a pretty big stick on there. Once per chain, when a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can target one Mist Valley card you control, return that card to the hand, and if you do, negate the activation, and if you do that, destroy it. So he could use a little PCST, but yeah, basically. Once per chain, when somebody activates an effect, you can quick effect, target a Mist Valley you control. It doesn't say another Mist Valley. Return that card to hand, then negate and destroy. So that's pretty good.
Also, I believe that is from Apex Avian. Is from the hand?
No.
I can't remember.
No, it's not from the hand. He has to be on board, but inherent special summoning monsters is not that hard these days.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
if you were playing Mist Valley at the time, I think you would have to like hard summon him by tributing 2 Mist Valleys.
Which probably wouldn't be worth it.
No. But in future when we get a lot more like, hey, do you have a card that exists in your hand? Play him.
I believe the exact reason he was playable was, hey, Lyralist can do silly shit.
Yeah. This guy's a winged beast and he's wind. But yeah, he's a once per turn negate at a cost. It's not even that bad of a cost. All you have to do is target a Mist Valley you control and return it to your hand. So you just get it back anyway. So yeah, Apex Avian is notable. You have heard of him, and for the time period, he's actually all right. Like he's a decent body, and I think he has a decent effect because he's got a once per chain negate.
But it is a card whose stonks will only go up.
Yes. So next,
Yes, he is the apex of Avian. You don't get any on.
Some kind of Apex Legends of Avians.
Why you?
No.
Is that game still alive?
yes.
I think they're doing some event. I had some kind of pop-up. They updated.
I've collectively never given a shit about any Battle Royale games, so I just assume they all
I
die.
usually don't. I try them and then I die immediately, and I'm like, yeah, there's no learning curve here. It's just get good or
The
suck.
problem with Battle Royale games is that they're FPS games, and I suck at those.
I'm not bad at FPS games, but I need the learning curve time. Like, I need the ability to respawn rapidly so I can figure out what the fuck I'm doing. The whole, all right, well, you're
yeah.
dead. The match is over. Now you got to go back whole through the lobby system. Okay, cool. I feel super rewarded. Like, at least with like Fall Guys, they're like, all right, we're going to kick you out now. You don't got to watch. You can leave. Get your goodies. Go home. So, now we have Mist Valley Baby Rock. Spelled R-O-C, by the way. Baby Rock. He's a baby. He's a little baby.
Oh, okay,
Dallas, how
okay,
can you be mean to baby?
That
Kick the
explains
baby.
why he's.
I mean,
Don't kick the goddamn baby.
I don't actually, like, compared to the other level 2 tuner they have, he's not any worse.
No, he's
They-
actually better than their other level 2 tuner, which says a lot.
So,
Wait, is he... Sorry, go ahead.
well, I was going to say his effect really quick. When this card is sent from hand to graveyard, you can special summon it. So, that's... I don't really know why he's a Mist Valley. That's a fucking fabled effect, literally. But, that's
Well,
not
it
a
is
bad
sent,
effect to
so it
have.
is slightly better.
Yes, you can. That means you can send him, and also you can discard him or destroy him. That all counts. That all counts as being sent to graveyard. So,
Right.
yeah, it's not a bad effect to have on a tuner. You know, like just get something that discards for cost, and he can do the thing. But it's not very impressive. Other than that, he's just a level 2 tuner who's a winged beast, and his stats are dog shit. Appearance wise,
I
Yeah,
mean,
he
the
has
only
a
question I have is
snake.
what's with the snakes?
Snake
Yeah,
somehow
don't-
attached to his side,
What's with those snakes coming out of his butt?
I
or
don't.
is
that
the
a-
snake, or is the snake just
The snake is his
skewered
tail.
by the, or is
Are you
snake by
sure it's his tail,
the
Omega?
tail or skewered?
So then, is that just a full-blown
Or-
chimera flying above him?
Skewered.
If that is, why is he a rock? He's obviously a chimera.
Yeah, I'm about to say I've had to double check. I don't like This,
Or like
the
a
Simurgh,
Manticore
the
or
Rock,
something?
all that stuff from like Persian mythology and the like. I don't remember the snake tail thing. I don't know where that's from. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not great with mythology myself.
Yeah. So, but I also don't know why he's like a Cubone with a skull head.
I mean,
Bum, 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 bum.
His color palette's not bad though.
oh yeah, no.
Like the actual, I just have questions about the design that I don't get. You know.
Yeah,
But he
that's
exists.
all. Minor questions. That's all.
I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's super good. Oh my god, this guy. This is a fucking guy. Spoilers. This is a guy.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay, all right. I'm so glad that they've got a clean art of this guy that's not covered up by the secret foiling or the super foiling. I
Good.
think. So here is Mist Valley Executor. This guy looks like a fucking wrestler.
Yes.
He's wearing an eye patch. Thunderbolts are crashing. This is great.
Yeah.
It is too soon, Executus.
This man shows up, you just hear weird guitar solos in the background. It's like, it's his entrance music, I see.
Yeah. This is Executor. He's a guy. He's one of the Mist Valley guys. He's a Thunder. I don't know why every single human Mist Valley man we've seen who's like a different thing other than I think Shaman and Soldier were both winged beasts. But he sure is electric.
Because Zeus.
Yeah.
Honestly, not an awful one.
No.
I actually might look into this guy.
He's not the
Versus
awfulest
Canada.
version. And art-wise,
Is
also,
there
we'll say
any-
before we move on to his effect, I think he's got a perfectly fine art. Like, he's got a dynamic pose. They've got the cool backdrop. He's got muscles.
Yeah, he looks like the
This
Undertaker.
guy,
but-
this guy looks like he should be what, a one tribute leader?
Yes, in fact, he is their
Minimum.
5-star. He has 2100 attack.
Uh,
And when this card is normal summoned, return all face-up spells and traps on the field to their owner's hands. So he has a
Huh?
semi-trunate effect.
nice.
Yeah, no, he has a hatred on tribute.
Yes, Hatronate effect. Which is
Or no, the opposite of hatred.
Hatronate is set. Yeah.
Yeah,
He has a
Hatronate is
he has a limited bounce for spell traps. And as we know, floodgates suck. So
But also field spells. So
yes, that returns
it's
field
not
spells.
a useless-
And now this is the other thing is if your face-up spells are soft once per turns, not hard once per turns, this guy's fucking broken.
yeah, no, this
Yeah.
guy could do some stuff. Like out of all
Like,
of them,
immediately I think of all those times where you tribute the guy that you get off of Call of the Haunted.
Yes, call would stay and then get bounced, and you would immediately be able to. Well, not immediately because you have to set it, but you'd be able to reuse call. I believe premature burial when it was legal was the same thing. Also,
Oh, no,
as an
premature was
example
even
of soft
worse.
once per turns on field spells, Dragon Ravine. Dragon Ravine is a soft once per turn, so you could Dragon Ravine, and then if you normal summon this guy somehow, you could Dragon Ravine again.
Omega, why are you giving Robin those ideas?
If Robin wants to run Mist Valley Dragoonity, let that man. Let him. It can't be any worse than running pure Dragoonity.
I mean,
But
let's
it
be
can
I
be
honest.
say this
better than
as a
Cyber-
Dragoonity man.
It can be worse than Cyber Dark Dragoonity.
It can be very worse than that idea you had, and that was not good. It was very funny.
Look, when you're missing a bunch of the core cards from the archetype, you have to try something.
Yeah,
mean-
limited formatting makes you do weird things. Unfortunately, I think Executor looks good, looks too good, and has too good of an effect for us to bitch about him for too long. So
No.
I hope certain other people who maybe have started doing jank decks see your jank deck, Dallas, and try it out.
Oh, I'm not playing that deck. I'm sorry. It had like a win rate of like 1. I think I won once.
also, to be
against
fair,
another
Dallas
deck that's
Dallas realizes he needs to not job this week because it's me and spoilers for the format. I can pull up the bracket list if you want to see. We're gonna record it tomorrow, but it's me and Dallas round 1, game 1. And we're in the finals fast pass zone, so
Yeah.
we will hopefully have a good match. or we won't.
Also,
and
I
complain
generally
about it.
just don't like jobbing.
Yes.
I'm just gonna be real.
I also don't like it when I jump. I'd like to show off my deck. So
Like
let's-
as much as I joke about it, my reversal OTK deck is actually a functional deck. It has
Well,
won
then-
games.
Well,
yeah,
then
it's a,
let's see
it's a
it,
strategy.
Alice. It needs to stop
Alright,
being the alleged deck.
Fine.
Week 40 will be
Okay,
funny.
Is this,
So this is Mist Valley Falcon.
this
He's a guy with the national team.
is
Actually, I've
Shaman's
got-
older brother. Or younger. I don't know.
I don't actually
are
even know
we
if he's even that
sure
related. I
about
mean,
the
he's got an evil tattoo. He's got
brother
some eye
part?
tattoos. He's got some eye themes.
This just looks like Riku from Kingdom Hearts became a furry.
No, Dallas. This is one of those shitty early internet deviant art shit posted on MySpace of Riku. Yes, with wings,
Yeah.
Yes.
with angel wings.
What a
'cause
furry.
He's not that furry though. He's got like two bird hands.
And
think-
bird feet.
Yeah, I guess we can interpolate he has bird feet, unless those are also, by the way, because of the way his armband works, those could also just be gloves. I don't actually know. Like, it looks like
What?
he's got the skin under his elbow, but like it's a little weird.
But you know, this guy is definitely like stereotypical douchebag anime protagonist number 251.
Yeah, this is the guy who got isekai'd into the Mist Valley.
This is the Cloud Strife of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh yeah, this guy sort of reminds me from was it Dot Hack series Aseo.
This guy would be done to an early 2005 AMV to Chop Suey.
Yeah. Also, no, I do think there's something to say for the thematic connection to Shaman. He brings back the eye motif. He is the first one of the Mist Valleys we've seen, unless you count Watcher's goggles, as actually having the weird tribal eye design. Like, he's got a tattoo, he's got a little eyepiece on his gorget, and also he has an eye on his shield. Like, hypothetically, he is he's a man with bird hands and feet and wings, and he's got a sword and stuff. He kind of looks like he belongs in Mist Valley, but he's definitely like way more anime soft boy, even though he has a six-pack, than like any of the other guys we've seen. Because most of the dudes we've seen in Mist Valley are fucking ripped.
Yeah.
This
This
guy
is
is
a-
only a
this
little
is
bit
a-
ripped.
This is a dark forbearance of what Konami would become.
Also, that must be one really magical sword, because
Oh yeah, it's glowing like a motherfucker.
well, I mean, aside from that, he looks like he should not have that stat. Like,
No, it's Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Anal. Thank you for the 1% of the 1% of you who got that joke.
I get what you're saying, Dallas. Not Dallas. That's my problem. I have a weird thing where whenever somebody speaks last when I'm trying to respond to somebody, I say their name instead. I've noticed that about myself.
I do too. I call Lothax all the goddamn reason.
I just think they sound the same.
You're welcome, Max.
But David, yeah, I agree with you. That sword must be pretty special because this is a 4-star 2K hitter. In the vein of cards like the Unfriendly Amazon and Panther Warrior. Yeah, those cards from like 2005, we decided to make another one of those in 2010. This card cannot declare an attack unless you return one card you control to the hand. Now, admittedly, it's any card. Doesn't even have to be an archetype card. You can just set some spell you can't even fucking activate and bounce it. But it's still a weird design choice. To give it, like,
I
a
think
2K
it's
beater.
especially with their field spell, which we'll get into, I assume, eventually.
Yeah, we'll hit up their
I
field
think
spell.
this is significantly better.
I was gonna say weird tech question, but could he send himself back to your hand with his own effect?
He could send him. I
yes.
believe he can send himself back. That does just mean you don't get the attack, unfortunately.
I mean, like I said, weird edge case tech question, but
But yes, if you wanted to like bounce him back for some reason, you could.
All
So
jokes
they-
about edgy white-haired anime boys aside, I actually do like the art of this card.
Yeah, I think
So-
it's
wait.
just a little more generic than some of the other designs. But he's okay.
oh, he's more generic than the kind of generic Mist Valley soldier.
I like it a hell of a lot more than Shaman, I'll say that.
Yeah.
We've already established Shaman was a weird art choice that clearly they decided not to go forward with themes.
Shaman was motivated by horny and nothing else.
So, Oh, never. I was gonna say, I was thinking about that weird edge case where you bring him back so that you summon him in main phase 2 to trigger your own TT, but that just sounds bad.
No, you would. I think
Someone
at that point you
at
just
Konami
hope.
wanted to fuck birds.
Wow, it's like there's a fucking like achievement hunter joke there. So this is their
I
first
didn't even do that
synchro.
on purpose.
I think this is our first synchro we've actually looked at.
Oh
Yes.
god, this art.
Yes.
So hey, this is Mist Valley Thunderlord. Clearly he has the same thoughts on Allies of Justice as we do.
Yeah, I was gonna
Nope.
say he's tearing apart a Catastor, isn't he?
Something like that. I think it.
So,
Yeah. It looks like it's got the Catastor headpiece.
No, so he's using the broken because they worked with the
Yeah.
Allies of Justice. He's using the broken bits of Catastor as weapons.
Yeah.
So this is Mist Valley Thunderlord. He's kind of a weird green Tengu Oni man. He's
Yeah,
aight.
I was just about to say, wait, he couldn't tear apart Ally of Justice Catastor because he's a wind. He's not a
Yes.
dark.
But yeah, so he's a wind synchro. He's kind of bad because he's not generic. You need to use a non-tuner Mist Valley monster.
I mean, I think he's good. Just like his effect is good.
Yeah, it's just the question of making him because that means you have to be playing the Mist Valley non-tuners. Now, admittedly, like one benefit of Falcon, right, is he's an offensive wall. He's got 2k attack. You can normal summon Falcon and be like, "Come at me, bro. I'm ripped." And then you just do, Shaman or Soldier or something
Yeah.
because he's a level 7. But yeah, it's still a little finicky.
Well, I think that the other important thing is it's technically a quick effect.
Yeah, so
It
do
is
we want to
either
say anything about
player's
his
turn.
art design? I think it's kind of unique compared to a lot of the other Mist Valleys, but he's
Unique?
obviously still in the same vein. He is a muscly guy
As
with
weird
both
as
hands.
it sounds, I like the lore implications of his artwork.
I do too. I was gonna say, yeah, unique is one word to put about his art. I'm maybe not a huge fan, but
I think he's got. I mean, he's got a few too many muscles on muscles. This is our back to Rob Liefeld school.
yeah. But I
aura
am
of
with
this,
Dallas. The fact that he is tearing, that he has, because it looks pretty obviously like he's just torn apart that Catastor.
And even if you can't do that, it's still funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so one tuner plus one or more non-tuner Mist Valley monsters. Once per turn, you can select one card you control, return it to the hand, and this card gains 500 attack until the end phase. This effect can be activated during either player's turn, which means it is a quick effect without being a quick effect. And he's 2600, so that makes him 31. That gets over a lot of monsters.
Also, you can use it to bounce back your own weenies before they get blown up by
Yes.
something.
Now, I do believe that because it is not worded as a quick effect, you cannot use it as a response. You
Yeah,
can't
you cannot
chain
do
it.
it in the battle damage stuff.
But
Yeah,
you
but
can.
if you
Your
did it-
opponent can say, "I'm going to battle phase," and you can say, "Okay, I bounce one. Mist Valley Thunderlord gets 500."
Oh my god, you can use it as a response, but not to like quick effects.
Yeah.
So it's
Like
a
you can,
spell
if
speed
someone
1
dark,
effect.
if someone dark holes, you could go. I'm putting my dude back to hand.
Yeah.
But if you chain mirror force, you're just dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it sounds like one of those things where you summon a guy, and then during like his main phase, he summons a guy that's bigger.
Yeah.
To
and you're
use
like,
a speed chain order, I'm way more familiar with. He is faster than a sorcery, slower than an instant.
the people in chat will get that. I'm not. I understand the basic mechanics of Magic. I don't remember my like fiddly bits.
What's faster than a sorcery, slower than an instant? Never mind. Tech talk for later.
Is this their actual? I mean, I think actually technically, other than no, there's I guess Mistbird Clausewus. I think this guy is technically our. This is your only, other than hard summoning Apex Avians, this is your only boss monster, other than Mistworm, who is not technically in archetype. He's just thematically associated with them.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, Robin. He's a permanent ignition.
So let's see. We talked about Condor. Yeah, I think the only one left is Mistbird Clausewus.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about the field spells because we might as well. How
Well,
long-
one of those field spells is very
How long you
important.
been streaming? Not even an hour and a half. We might do whites tonight as well. This, by the way, this is with like 30 minutes of yelling about the ban list. We
I
powered
will
through
probably
Mistburg.
have to go after Mr.
Well, in that case, if you have to go, we might just call it a night.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But I'm gonna pull up the art for Mist Bird Clausuous, who
Bird.
we joked about because there's a vanilla ally of Justice Clausuous who is this bird but a robot, and he's bad. He's a normal monster. He's kind of bad. But
No,
he's an ally of Justice, so what else would he be? Pow.
Here's the thing, Omega. He's bad by ally of justice standards.
I mean that's true because he's a fucking vanilla. That
He's
does
a
nothing.
vanilla tribute.
Yeah, he's
So
just a bungshwa.
Have
Yeah.
we failed Portrayal Allies of Justice
Oh
already?
yes,
Yes, we did.
We did them
Yeah.
early
Yeah.
because boy, that is an art
Because
style,
holy
guys.
shit, the art style.
Was either
Like honestly,
horrendous
out of
or
all of
good.
our like hidden arsenal archetypes, I think Mist Valleys are safely in like a C or B tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would put
They're not
them
the
like,
best, but they're not the worst by any
like
stretch.
here's the
Yeah.
thing. Like a lot of my favorite archetype art styles aren't consistent, so I don't know how I would rate them. Like honestly, I think the Mist Valley might be the strongest of the consistent art styles.
Okay,
Well, I mean,
well,
we would not necessarily immediately go into Gusto. We might have to actually like scratch out. But I think this means that we've hit all the core.
No,
we haven't hit X Saber. That's right.
or Ice Burr.
Or Ice Barrier. Yeah. So that'll be Ice Barrier. I need to know that you guys are free for several hours. We will be here a long time.
Ice Bear.
Also, I was about to say, and for X Saber
Ice
we need
Bear's
Loth
tired.
here. But then I remembered, wait, Loth is here. He just can't speak over us.
Yes, I can't speak over anyone.
Yeah, Loth still doesn't have that power. Loth, what do you think of this big bird?
He looks like he's about to try to reach out and steal my food.
That is a very, very, very correct opinion, I think. So this is
Yeah,
Miss Bird
that's-
Clausuous. He is a
His
bird who is
toes
misty.
are huge.
Yeah, the perspective on this is a little
If
interesting.
anyone has a bird foot fetish, they're coming right now.
God damn, Dallas.
Oh!
Thanks, Dallas. I needed that cursed image in my mind.
Oh man,
claw
those
chop,
bird
Dallas.
claw feet really get me.
See,
Oh,
these
Jim.
guys are disgusted. I'm like, I'm gonna double down on the joke.
I just
Oh, Jim Beam, purger of bad thoughts.
No, we're not gonna. There's also a lot of X Sabers. We're not gonna do X Sabers tonight because remember, there's X Saber, there's double X Saber, there's technically whatever the fuck is going on with the MX Saber Invoker.
It's triple X Saber, the Rule 34 page.
Why has
Sorry,
it
We
Yeah,
also,
very
that
good.
means we also have to
X?
dig up how many fucking Gothams cards there are, because sometimes Gothams isn't an X Saber, but he is also totally related to the X Sabers. We'll probably call it quits after Mist Valley. Maybe I'll show you Steel Swarm Thunderbird. No, I won't. We won't get there. Anyway, this is Mist Bird Clausuous. He gets turned into Ally of Justice Clausuous. He is a bird. I mean, he's got like all other Mist Valleys. He has that interesting two-tone color palette. I like the. There's a reason why the Ava colors are very popular. The purple and green.
Yeah, I mean, they're complementary to each other.
The
aren't
fact
they?
that you
They
call those
opposite
the
side.
Ava colors makes me die inside.
No, they're
I'm-
not. 'Cause they're both made of blue.
I don't actually give that much of a shit about Ava, but I always see people do the like bright green and the purple, and then they make Ava references. So in my mind, they're like, okay, people think of these as the Ava colors.
That's because Ava nerds have no shame.
That is also correct. So this is Miss Bird Clausuous. Now, the great thing about this card is, unfortunately, he's a super rare, so we're gonna die. He doesn't come out until 2013 Judgment of Light. This motherfucker is a generic level 3 synchro. Holy shit. I know,
Oh.
right? With 0 attack and 2300 defense. This is a fat-ass 3-star bird. It's all in those claws. Big chunky
Yeah.
claws. Big meaty claws.
But they're bone and
They're very
cartilage,
bony,
aren't
yes. They're
they?
not actually meaty, but he's got.
I mean, have
he's
you
got-
ever had chicken feet? There's actually some good meat on them.
So, Clausuous is generic, 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuners. Once per turn, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes 0. Its effects are negated. These changes last until the end of this turn.
Holy shit, I need it.
Yeah,
Oh.
this is a great card.
Yeah.
This is not necessarily a Mist Valley card, but this is a great fucking card.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
basically
the fact
like
that it's
Super Gale.
generic,
Yeah.
Like he,
This is an
spoiler.
rank 3 toolbox.
Oh, slight spoiler for my deck this week, but I don't. If I had this in my deck, I would probably be making him fairly easily.
Oh yeah, no. This card is perfectly suited to weenie synchro decks, like Synchron decks, for instance, and other similar cards along that vein. There are a lot of low-level tuners and low-level tuner support cards. You're supposed to string them together to make them, but I would like to remind everybody this guy is level 3. Hey, what level is Quillbolt, everybody? 2.
Level 2.
So if you have a Quillbolt in graveyard, not hard, and you have a level 1 tuner, you have this guy. So this is going to be very interesting when this comes out in Judgment of the Light as a super rare.
But also,
alternative.
this isn't even a joke, because I believe him plus a Formula Synchron plus a Stardust Dragon, he's Star Quasar.
What level is
That's-
Quasar?
I think it's like 14 or something. It's the highest level synchro. I know that.
Quasar is 12.
Yeah, I think we cap out at 12, which means no, you can't do that. But
No, I was gonna say, or what you do is you do the token thing with like Doppel Warrior, or like you were
Well,
saying,
no,
you go into
so
Formula.
Quasar Star Dragon is 1 tuner synchro plus 2 non-tuner synchros.
Yeah.
but you still have to make the level requirement, don't you?
Yes, but its effect is basically you win.
But Dallas, you're talking about you would need it's a 12, right? So that would be
Yeah.
10 with Formula, 7 with Stardust. So that would be 9. Okay, no wait, that does
8
work
with
out. All right,
Stardust.
yeah, I had to
No, it's 8
manually
with
do the math,
Stardust.
but it does work.
I was wrong. It's 8. You have to do Black Rose, or AFD.
Yeah. Stardust is 8, but still, it's like it's what's with Stardust, 8 or 7. If it's 7, it works. If it's 8, it doesn't work. You missed by 1. It's close though.
Yeah.
Thinking with your feet. And yes, this is a Necroz as well. Once again, we have to. Necroz is like several other archetypes in that we have to do all the schlock that comes before them to explain what the fuck is going on with their designs.
I'm actually excited for them as well. I've
Yes,
seen
'cause
some of their
Necroz
designs,
is
and they look cool.
Necroz is an interesting take where they're basically all wearing all these guys as armor. And also, I think they're an interesting thematic take because they're one of the first good ritual decks. Because Konami realized that giving ritual monsters hand effects is good.
How do you spell Necroz?
With a K, and a Z. Marth posted it. Level Eater works, yeah. You can level Eater for free.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you do like some level eater with
Oh god, when
with
do we
formula.
get fucking Quasar Dragon in the card bank? Because I think we might have to ban Level Eater.
Or you have a Doppel Warrior token with level eater with effect Veiler that you aren't using.
There's also just to make this guy just effect Veiler Foolish Dandelion. That's 3.
That might. Well, we might be seeing some of that tomorrow.
I suspect now that Dallas has once again reminded everybody that Dandelion exists, I suspect Dandelion is not long for this world because he is very broken.
Honestly, if we're gonna play that Omega, I honestly am way more worried about Level Eater than Dandelion.
Well, yeah, the thing is, Dandelion is we're traditional format. Dandelion is effectively limited. You can only do it once, and if you do it at a bad time, you just use the tokens. Level Eater you can do forever. I agree. I just think I also do not know if we've seen a lot of Level Eater plays.
I will say there are ways to recycle your Dandelion.
Well, yeah, you can get him out of the graveyard, but like Level Eater is not a once per turn effect, and it is not not limited because it activates in graveyard. So if you sink away Level Eater, you get to do it again.
Yeah, I think that Level Eater needs a hard once per turn.
Yeah.
Fuck, I was muted again. But similar thing. Level Eater and also Plague Spreader Zombie. Just being able to see someone consistently bring that out of the graveyard is quite bullshit.
Okay, it was your own fault for morphing jarring me with a Plague Spreader in graveyard, but...
But even when I did a morphing jar, you still went, I'm gonna zombie master consistently?
But that was a zombie deck, though. It could have been any zombie tuner.
So, breaking up this fight before it even starts.
That's just
We're
Plague
not
Spreader, but yeah. So there are 2 field spells what we should also talk about. Dallas, do you think we should talk about the one they printed second after they realized the first one was really OP? or should we talk about
Yes.
the OP one right away?
Let's talk about the fixed one first, because the OP one is
So this was in the thumbnail art. Let me see if I can get a good.
Necros is just them going full anime, isn't it?
yes.
The aesthetics of dual terminal get more and more anime as we go on, which is both a positive and a negative, because on the one hand we get less jank, but also yes, as it is the start of a problem. People start to talk about generic anime people as all Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I do want to say
okay and doubled down.
I do think that there is still uniqueness in Yu-Gi-Oh, because fucking Suship Guncan exists. And fight me, nerds. There's a sushi ship archetype.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if I should be scared of them or if I should try and eat them.
I am not going to argue that there isn't uniqueness. I'm going to argue that the animization of Yu-Gi-Oh was a bad thing.
I honestly think it's just a cultural drift in Japan thing with like their artists.
Well, yeah, no, I'm against cultural artistic drift.
Like, I think they just, like, Japan just cares less about, like, weird, creepy occult shit. And so the card art gets more generic.
To their detriment.
And I think,
Bring
like...
back weird, creepy occult bullshit.
Rush is an interesting study because they redraw a lot of art to be even more anime-esque, but also to be a little bit kiddier and a little bit, like, cleaner lines, which fits the Rush aesthetic. It is literally for children.
But I'll give Rush a pass even, because it's like, yeah, it's stylized though.
Yes,
The
Rush
problem
is heavily stylized.
The problem I have is a lot of modern art starts to look a bit samey and schlocky.
That is a
that's
frequent
one of the
there,
reasons
and I actually think Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of crawling out of that hole. I think that was a worse
I do
problem.
as well.
That problem is peak Arc V, Konami Orbs, everything is a dragon problem. Like
I wouldn't say Arc V. I'd say Vrains is the worst.
And yeah, actually, I haven't seen a lot of
genericness.
super great art other than just what we've seen. But I that might also be like we peak, because usually you peak in something just after that thing ends, right? Like so.
Yeah. It's what if everything was cyberpunk?
Anyway, here is Shrine of the Mist Valley. It's in the thumbnail. It's a shrine that's in the Mist Valley. They've got some interesting banners. There's some glowing green shit. It fits the aesthetics. There is definitely mist and there is a valley. I don't know why there's horns, but
Are they built off the back of a dead dragon or something?
I'll check if there's any lore or anything in this. But
why does this look like this is in Kokiri Forest?
I mean that's this has definitely got some classic Legend of Zelda vibes too. Yes.
Yeah, that is definitely.
Actually, wait a minute. Hold on.
I was gonna say you're probably thinking of the Lost Woods, just in general, because the Lost Woods.
Is this actually just rip-off Zelda art?
No.
Hold on.
I mean, Celtic Guardian much.
Oh, okay. It's different. I was gonna be like, wait a fucking second. I was gonna do some
Okay,
research.
just quick thing I want to say. I gotta head off in a little bit, or at least get ready to head off. So I hope you guys have a fun stream.
Yeah, we're winding down. We've got like 2 cards left. Thanks for showing up, Loft, even if you couldn't get into word in edgewise.
Yeah, it happens. You guys have a good one. Bye.
All right, I'll see you. Okay, so no. Fabled Kudabi has a horizontal veil, not a vertical like strips. Okay, I wanted to double check. I was thinking about the horns, but no, it's different. It has different horns too. Let me see if there's any fun trivia about this. So this has a Gusto symbol in the artwork. So this is located in the Mist Valley, but it is close to the Dragon Ravine.
Okay, that might make sense.
So yeah, I can see this. This is kind of a it seems like that's what it is. Dallas, this is Sophia.
Yeah.
This is Sophia glued to the ground. Okay, this is Sophia, goddess of rebirth, who shows up shows up to nuke the dual terminal storyline for the second or third time.
Fourth. I think.
Fourth.
Actually.
I was gonna say 3 to 4. I was like, wait, that seems too many. 2 to 3, fourth time. I think it's the last one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the most recent. I don't think she's thematically linked to Mist Valley, to address someone in chat. It's more just Sophia is the typical, I say typical, but the typical dead god locked in the center of the world.
Yeah.
This is just her head.
Sophia is the goddess of rebirth. She is sleeping, and the Mist Valley guys put a temple on top of her, basically. I do believe that is supposed to be, based on the card art, that's supposed to be Winda of Gusto, before she becomes the Winda you don't like. Unless you play Shadolls, in
Before
which
she
case
becomes
you
the
like
window
her.
I love.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Unless you play
Wait,
Shadolls, in which case it's the Winda you like.
Wait, what does she become?
This is the floodgate me and Robin can both get.
Are we now talking about Shadows?
No.
Because Winda of Gusto is Winda of Shadol.
Yeah.
Oh,
Become
okay,
Shadow
that's
Winda.
why.
Winda.
Which is
Okay,
a
that's
card
why.
you know. Yeah, Shadol is like the third wave of this shit. Or fourth.
Oh,
They're the fourth archetype to pick up the dead people and go, we're gonna wear these now.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
a recurring theme in Head Nursing.
So I was like, Shrine has to be related to something. But yeah, so we figured that out. So what Shrine does is, this is a field spell. Once per turn, when a wind monster is wind monsters, I should say, is destroyed by a card effect and sent to your graveyard, except during damage step. I don't know necessarily why you had to specify that, because almost nothing fun activates in damage step anyway. Curse you, Snake Whistle. You can
Fuck
special
me.
summon one
Damage
level
step.
3 or lower wind monster from your hand or deck. Its effects are negated. So this is honestly more of a Gusto card than a Mist Valley card, in terms of its effects. But this is the balanced version of this. This is a recycling effect where if your wind monsters get popped by a card effect outside of damage step, so no catastor immunity, you get to cycle them out. And summoning from deck can be pretty spiced, because it's not even type locked. It's just any wind monster. So it's got a little bit of the bullshit, but it's not full bullshit. Unlike the next card. If you guys have anything to say about Shrine of Mist Valley, you can say it now while I pull up.
I think it looks cool.
It's very cool, very that sort of design, temple design.
And I do like that it does have a link to other stuff other than just Mist Valley.
Yeah. It keeps things tied in. Now, this card artwork is not going to be very meaningful. This is Heart of the Mist Valley. This is some weird esoteric Studio Ghibli shit here.
This is them staring into the spirit realm or whatever.
Yeah, this is
Mist Valley.
the heart of a valley must be protected. What's the heart of the valley? And then there's just a pan shot of the fucking glow from the suitcase in Pulp Fiction, and you're like, the heart of the valley. It's very important. Anyway. There's not a lot to say about this art. It's a valley and it has a heart. There's some fucking Pocahontas paint with all the colors of the rainbow shit here. But what I'm guessing that was David looked up what the effect is.
No, I looked at what Marth just said.
Oh.
Marth just said that Quasar might be a December 2011 card.
Yeah, it's actually it says showing.
I mean, Quasar, honestly,
that
Quasar
would
is not that
be-
scary to
But,
me.
Next
we can discuss that
set?
later.
We'll figure that out off stream. I'll have to figure out the timing. That could be this week or that could be next week, technically. I have to figure out.
No, that is Divine Wind of Mist Valley.
Yeah, that's
It's
divine.
Divine Wind.
It's
It's the heart of the valley. The Divine Wind.
the wind going through the valley is pretty much.
Yeah,
this card.
I think I was cut off in the middle of my much better analogy. This is, paint with all the colors of the wind.
Yeah,
Yes.
whatever that's from, I can never remember.
Pocahontas.
Ah,
So here we be. It's the Divine Wind, the actual windy bit. Except there's no other wind in the Mist Valley. There's mist in the Mist Valley. What's going on? I don't know. Anyway, this card's bullshit. This card is limited still. Still limited.
Well, Omega, would you like me to tell you why it is limited?
Well, let me explain what it does, and then you can tell the people at home why it's still limited. But they may also be able to figure out. Once per turn, soft once per turn, if a wind monster you control returns to the hand, except during damage step, you can special summon one level 4 or lower wind monster from your deck. So you may note, Shrine was like, you can special summon one level 3 or lower, I believe, and its effects are negated. This is, you can special summon a level 4 from your deck.
I want to take a guess first.
Okay.
Double tributes or barrier statues?
No. So with
No, barrier
if
statue
this
stun
card
would
is-
be a great way to run this.
if this card is not limited one, it is a 2-card FTK. And I'll explain. So there's a card called Harpy Dancer, which bounces itself, and then you can normal summon again. So you activate Divine Wind, you summon a Harpy Dancer, you use Divine's Effect to summon Gen X Blast Fan, which is a wind monster that lets you add a Gen X. You add Birdman, you bounce Gen X Blast Fan for Birdman, Synchro Birdman for Fairy Dragon, use Fairy Dragon, blow up your Divine Wind, get another Divine Wind, activate Divine Wind, use Ancient Fairy Dragon, summon another Blast Fan, get another Birdman, bounce for Birdman, you keep repeating, get a second Ancient Fairy Dragon, blow up another one, add Stratos, special summon Stratos, add Heat, Synchro for third Ancient Fairy Dragon through another Blast Fan and combo. Add Black Garden with the third Ancient Fairy Dragon. Special summon Gen X Recycled from hand. Then Synchro for Gen X Ally Axel. Use use Axel's effect. Discard. Overlay for Galaxy Tomahawk. Get Power Tool Dragon. Add Fusion Gates. Fuse Heat for Blaze Phoenix. Bombardment Bird. Burn for 6,000.
Which is a lot of steps to do a weird dumb FTK. Also, you can't actually do that FTK because Ancient Fairy Dragon is banned, but that was a different thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. All of these cards have been banned.
Banned or limited, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
you can only run one Birdman, you can only run one.
There-
So, I mean, like, hypothetically, that possibly means that this card could come back, but I don't think they want to fuck with it. It summons from deck. That's
I
pretty
don't
OP.
think this card could come back.
Yo Senju uses this card.
Yeah, Yosenju are wind who bounce themselves.
It could probably come back at 1, right?
Like
It's already
the thing
it
this
is
was
limited.
ju-
It's not banned, but
Oh,
This was just the like. This was just this was just the like FTK. There's probably, with the amount of wind archetypes that have been printed in the time that this got limited, which was like 2016, I think.
Yeah.
There's probably more like just degenerate stuff you can do, like Lyralisk. God, Lyralisk with this would be a nightmare.
there's because it just relies on you bouncing a wind monster, which there are several, as we've noted, easy wind monsters who bounce self. You can do a lot of shit where you just pull from deck for free and do the thing.
yeah.
And like we said, summoning from deck is well, okay. Summoning from deck is busted if it's anything. If it's a monster can only be summoned from deck, that monster sucks and is bad. But because you can hard.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah, mostly. You need a way to tuck back. I'm thinking, like, there were some old school cards that summon themselves straight from the deck, like Dark Sage and Red Eye's Metal Dragon. Those are bad.
Well, Dark Sage sucked because Dark Sage summoning it is bullshit.
Well, yeah, Dark Sage, you have to call correctly a Time Wizard and have a Dark Magician on field. Then you can freely summon him. Now, when you do summon him, you get a fucking spell card, which is bullshit. But the circumstances to make it work are so not worth it. Nobody has ever really tried hard to break Dark Sage.
Yeah.
You
Let's be
know,
honest,
Divine-
that was in there for an anime moment. And
Well,
that's it.
I mean,
Divine Wind
yeah,
and
that
Misspelling-
that was Konami tried to replicate cards from the anime too hard and didn't
No,
have a
that
problem.
was Yugi just cheated and made up a card.
No.
No,
No,
you
didn't
activated
do the
your
same
Time
thing.
Wizard and it just made my magician better.
Except Dallas, that's exactly what happened with Thousand Dragon and Baby Dragon, though. Like, it wasn't a fusion card.
I
it was
know,
just,
but
like it's that
Look.
weird thing of like, I'm gonna make 1,000 years pass. Oh, well, my Dark Magician's super fucking old now, so he's cool.
I will never just be okay with the shenaniganery of the season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh.
I mean, it's written a lot more loosey-goosey. It's very
Yeah, very loosey.
And
Or
but
I should say
Dallas,
Series 1, Season 1.
Dallas, you're talking like Jaden doesn't make up his fusions as he goes. Sometimes.
No, but the thing is, he always at least plays the actual card game.
Yes, he plays polymerization.
Explain to me
like,
exactly
and
where
to be fair, David, at this time when GX was out, the fusion deck was unlimited.
Yeah.
David,
Okay.
explain to me the duel with Panic. And what the fuck was that?
That
I'll
was
be
the
able
rules. The rules for
Turtle and your
Floating
I'll-
castle.
Well,
Dallas.
that episode
Dallas.
was trimmed in the dub, and had like a music montage instead of the actual thing. Now that I'm not gonna panic isn't cool and all, but like I think to avoid the fact that there is a lot of talk about how the player killer was gonna murder Yugi with flamethrowers, they edited that episode a little bit. It still doesn't make sense in the conventional card game, but Duelist Kingdom wasn't the card game. It was like secretly D&D, but with cards.
Duelist Kingdom is a fucking trip.
It wasn't until Battle City that Kazuki Takahashi was like, all right, Duel Monsters has real rules. These are Kaiba's rules. They resemble the card game of the future.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, obviously that episode was a fever dream.
Except when we use ancient Egyptian magic to do bullshit.
Yeah, I mean that is at least the benefit of some plot lines in OG Yu-Gi-Oh. The cards are explicitly occult.
Well,
Or
like,
virtual
if-
reality to do
Oh
bullshit.
yeah,
And
or virtual
let's
reality
be-
stuff. But like, if an Egyptian god card displays a secret power, that totally makes sense because they're actually the Egyptian gods or something. And Pegasus was like, nah, these pieces of cardboard have inherited the powers of the ancient stone tablets. They're too fucking weird. We can't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and let's be honest, I think that speaks to the differences between Pegasus and Kaiba a little bit there in the way they set that up. But yeah.
Well, Pegasus was also a troll. Like he literally announced he was doing a fucking battle royale tournament on an island, and was like, by the way, there are secret rules that I'm not going to tell you. Bye. Except I told this one kid because he won the nationals. Bye.
Yeah. Well,
10
I
million,
was gonna
10
say,
million
'cause
prize smoke bomb.
Pegasus always struck me as more an art guy.
I mean, yeah,
It's
his
explicitly
company
in
is called
GX, but-
whatchamacallit, Industrial Illusions. Like he's
Yeah.
he is literally like from like a special effects and gaming company.
Yeah,
and
where
so he's like, I'm all
Kaiba
about the
is
presentation.
much more serious businessman. Hey, got to make sure this actually.
Yes,
goes
Kaiba-
properly.
I don't know. I don't know if I would call
Well, Kaiba
turning
is
a,
actually a business-minded guy. It's just that he's like a Jeff Bezos, where like Jeff Bezos is like, fuck it, I want to go to space, and I want to go to space
Oh, yeah.
before that other rich guy. Kaiba is like, I want to play card games. I want to play card games.
Which
in
is
a giant
why,
fucking
spoiler,
stadium
if I
that
ever
built
met
with all the
Seto Kaiba
cards.
on the street, I would just shoot him. I would just shoot Seto Kaiba. He is everything I hate.
Kaiba is kind of a douchebag. Like, and like, I know he brings you great card games.
As
He
far
built
as I'm
the theme park,
concerned,
but like,
as far as I'm concerned, Kaiba is the worst villain of the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise, barring the people that want to blow up the world.
I
Which
mean,
is-
also, it's to be fair. I believe it's I don't know how the editing goes, but at the end of Battle City, he likes, I'm getting on my blimp and I'm going home and I'm blowing up the island. Whether or not you come is up to you. Like that, literally, he's
No.
like, I wanted to win the tournament, get all 3 Egyptian god cards, and then blow up this island because it's a relic of my stepfather who was Obadiah Stane, and I hated his guts, basically. So I'm gonna blow up the island and symbolize my rebirth as a man. Oh, I lost to Yugi. Fuck. Well, I'm gonna blow up the island anyway.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Didn't he also lose to Joey?
I don't remember.
I can't remember. I genuinely don't remember the
No.
quarterfinals.
No, he didn't.
So the four-man battle royale breaks into, I think technically Joey and Merrick are the losers bracket.
Yeah.
Like they go out
No,
first.
no. Yugi and because Yugi and Kaiba have a duel, which Yugi beats Kaiba.
Well, that's
and
what I
then
mean.
Merrick
Like
beats Joey.
Joey and Merrick pair off, and then Kaiba and Yugi are at the top standing off, and they pair off in the
And then
semis.
Joey.
No, Kaiba and Joey had a duel.
No.
Yeah, yes, they did before.
Yeah, they did. They had a
America.
losers bracket.
Oh, was that then? That must have been to decide who fought whom.
No, it was to decide who got third.
Yeah, who got third? And Kaiba used Crush Card Virus against Joey.
Right,
But
right.
that doesn't. Okay, that doesn't follow though. Like, how then does Merrick get in?
No. Okay. So after Yugi loses,
Because Merrick beats Joey and blows up his mind. He can't duel anymore
No, I
after
know.
that. So I was right. It was Joey and Kaiba have a duel to decide who pairs off.
No. Look, trust me. I'm looking at this.
I'm just trying to follow the logic. I know the duels. I'm like, but how do we make the combos work? I'm gonna look at chat and it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, no, it was after Yugi and Kaiba had their duel. Joey recovered from getting his mind crushed. This was before Merrick and Yugi dueled.
Really? God, I don't remember that at all.
And then Joey and Yugi dueled after that, which I don't fucking remember either.
I feel like was this in the manga? I feel like that must have been an anime shit we need to stall for time.
Episodes 135 to 137, Kaiba vs. Joey.
That feels like that's an anime only we had to stall for time, because that doesn't make any logical goddamn sense.
Well, this was also after, because remember, in the anime, they went to fucking virtual reality world.
The anime had to split the Battle City finals. Yeah, so I know it's there's the four-man duel, and then they break down. So that was Joey and Merrick jobbed out first.
Yes.
And fought each other then. Okay, so I think I've got the
No. Joey and Kaiba, not Joey and Merrick.
But then why do Joey and Merrick duel?
No, that was before that.
No, it's not. It
Yes,
can't be
it
before
is.
the four-man. No.
No, it's after the four-man, before
That's what I'm talking
Joey
about
and
in the
Kaiba duel.
four-man.
Yeah, but Joey lost that one.
Yes, but also doesn't Merrick technically lose because they fight after?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I've been correct the whole time.
Yeah, Merrick.
I think we're
went to
arguing
zero
about two
because
different
of
things.
Well,
Yeah, Merrick
like
went to
so the
zero.
four-man duel is technically weird because nobody loses because they're not eliminated. They just do the battle royale to decide what the order of the duels is.
Yes.
No, the four-man was not on a blimp. That was in the tower.
Yes, that was in
Yeah, I know,
the
that
stupid
was in
fucking
there.
tower thing.
So they had top 8 basically on the blimp, which was its own kind of special bullshit. And then they figured out what the top 4 cut was. But instead of just being fucking reasonable, Seto Kaiba, by the way, after Dallas brought up the virtual world arc, after being put in VR hell, and Tristan briefly getting his body stolen in VR.
By the ghost, quote unquote, of his stepfather in VR. It's weird.
Yeah, that was a weird backstory thing that doesn't make any sense. Apparently, Gozaburo Kaiba had VR technology 20 years ago.
Exodia.
The evil Kaiba had VR technology like 15 years ago, and he first virtualized his poor ill
His
son,
dead son.
his basically dead son, okay, so yeah, I actually thought that was what happened. So the Merrick, they did the smart thing, and everybody in the four-man duel ganged up on Merrick because he's an asshole. They knocked him out first, then Joey ended up with the third highest LP by the time they finished. So those two paired off, and then Yugi and Kaiba fought, and then the whole thing. Dueled. D and F are next to the same thing. But yeah, but once again, to put this in perspective, Kaiba, the absolute mad lad you've been talking about, was
Do we need to
after
have
we
a
did
group
the
watch
first
session of this or
full
something?
duels, we go into the virtual world where there's that other bullshit we talk about. Also, we fight the virtual ghosts of the Big Five because they also lost their bodies because Kaiba killed them. Kaiba just had them assassinated, I guess, after the last time they tried to betray him and trap him in a virtual world.
I could have sworn I saw that, and quote me if I'm wrong, chat. I could have sworn one of them, because this got cut in the English version, obviously, but one of them committed suicide out of shame.
Probably. I mean,
The one that
there's
turned into Jinzo.
Kaiba obviously would have fired them all because that was intact in the original storyline. The Big Five, the board of directors conspired to get him ousted.
They tried to trap him in VR the first time.
Well, also, they straight up signed a backdoor deal with Pegasus to be like, Mr. Maximilian Pegasus, you will eliminate Seto Kaiba, and we will merge our two companies together after he's gone.
Yeah.
And Pegasus just went, lol, whatever.
And Pegasus was like, yeah, sure, sounds fun. Cool.
Sure, whatever.
Hello, we've brought you this small child as bait. Oh, hey, thanks. Cool. You guys know how I work. Sweet.
What?
Ah, bait. I need that. Cool. I'm going to throw him in my dungeon. Hey, kid, you like castles? Hey, kid, you like cartoons? And Mokoba's like, I need an adult. And Pegasus is like, I am an adult. But yeah, we're way off Mist Valley. But no, the the pacing with Virtual World in the Battle City Finals is so dumb. Like Kaiba is literally like, yes, I've escaped virtual hell. Now we will climb into my 4-man tower match to see who goes on to defeat whom. All right, cool. I defeated Merrick and Joey. All right, Yugi, you and me fight. I wanted it to be the finals, but it'll be the semifinals. Meh. And then, I've died. Here, take Obelisk. Yeah.
No, Kaiba is just an ass bag, and if I met him, I would kill him.
And he just keeps doubling down. If you go by Darkseid's timeline, he built the fucking space station so he can 3D reassemble the Millennium Puzzle that he dug the fuck up. He is robbing tombs in Egypt to dig up the Millennium Puzzle and have a computer assemble it in zero gravity. Because he really, really, really wants to duel Atem again. And then I don't remember where the qualification comes from, but at the end of the movie, then he either goes back in time or goes to the afterlife. It's never actually explicitly said in the text. Kaiba. At the end of Darkseid,
I think it goes back in time.
Yeah, see, I have two conflicting because he's wearing the dimension gear, but nobody is sure. Like it's not explicitly stated.
Let me rephrase that. I hope he died.
That is one. I mean, either way, he's effectively dead because he either traveled back in time, which he cannot return from, or he went to the fucking spirit world, which he cannot return from.
Good fucking riddance.
So in the Darkseid version, he's gone.
What,
like I said, it's not actually explicitly stated in the movie.
I was gonna ask if it,
or if it is, it was like one line.
If there's any idea where he may have popped out of if he accidentally time traveled.
Well, so that's the thing.
What?
Darkseid is canon to the manga and maybe the anime. Because it was made with the assistance of Kazuki Takahashi. Like, Konami called him up, was like, yo, dude, you want to do an anniversary movie? And he was like, yeah.
No,
and
you
then
GX.
So guys, you're saying, oh, he's alive in GX. That's because GX is not in continuity with the movie. The movie is more of a manga adaptation.
Yes.
Than it is of the original anime. GX is technically following from the OG Duel Monsters. I did the Dallas thing.
Probably why Kaiba's a little bit more extreme because in the manga spoilers, he's a psychopath.
Yes, and also he doesn't get as much closure in the manga. In the actual anime, he gets to see some of the Memorial Duel stuff and realize what the fuck is going on and actually grow as a person.
He just hires actual combat mercenaries to kill high schoolers.
Yeah, that's another point. All that shit is skipped in the anime. In the modern anime, not the Toei blue hair Kaiba.
And somehow the high schoolers managed to beat trained combat mercenaries, which whatever.
Because even
when it's not about card games, Dallas, they have the power of anime protagonist luck on their side. But yeah, so
to be fair, at least they were realistic with it. Yugi does nothing in that. His short ass just sits in a corner.
But yeah, in the GX anime version of the timeline, Kaiba goes on to found the Duel Academy and still be a complete lunatic. I think I talked about this when we did the GX podcast. The Chaz's brothers, the fucking the Manjome group brothers, challenge him to a duel for the school, ownership of the school, and he's like, "All right, you could pick your champion from anybody." And they're like, "Wait, we have one stipulation." What's that? He has to play with a deck of our choosing, and Kaiba is like, "There's no motherfucking student at my Duel Academy who would dare lose with a duel of your restrictions." Fine, I accept your challenge. And then when he watches it on TV, I'm sure Kaiba's like, yeah, that was exactly like I planned.
To be fair, Kaiba goes full on Pegasus in GX.
Which is weird because Pegasus is alive again in GX because in the manga, Pegasus was super dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it's very... I think that GX Kaiba is just as crazy. I think he's just less destructively rich asshole crazy. More like he's just
he is more Pegasus basically.
Yes, he is more he really likes card games and he has unlimited money. So
I mean, my favorite scene in that entire thing is when he just goes, let's send these dueling cars to space so that we can show intelligent life what we're all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say though, I suspect that it might also be a product of him being out of frame.
Okay,
Oh,
let's
I mean,
just,
like-
that's true. Like he
Let's
is a
just-
background character.
Yeah. Like Kaiba is
Yeah, it's
not
just-
around for GX at all, except as a background character. So, and I suspect that that's
Other than the fact that Kaiba Man exists and could just be Seto Kaiba in cosplay, we're not sure.
Yeah, I'm 100% down with that theory. That was literally just Kaiba snuck into Duel Academy.
Just stuck in a dual academy to troll students.
Yes,
I
because he
would
would
buy
do that.
that, except that it was like a pocket spirit dimension thing.
I mean, Kaiba's used to all that magic shit. He just doesn't believe in it.
Also, to be fair, in the that's a dubism in the sub. In the Japanese version, Kaiba's more like, I don't care. Magic doesn't affect me because I'm too busy to play card games. Card games. Your magic shows you the future. Fuck you. Card games. I win. Blue Eyes tells me to summon
what?
it, so
You know
Seems
what?
great, by the way.
He is crazy enough to go, you know what? Card games on motorcycles. Let's go.
I mean, I could see the structure of like the speed world system being a Kaiba invention. The idea that Kaiba
Unfortunately-
figured out how to turning dual monsters into unlimited free energy. Also, I believe Kaiba would try that. I'm not sure why that works though.
Unfortunately, canonically, the speed world system was set up by, God, was it Roman? I can't remember which brother it was.
It was one of the good ones. Okay.
The one that didn't cut off his arm and come back to life.
But yeah, it's an interesting thing. And then technically for Zexel, we abandon the idea that the timelines are contiguous, though there are still references.
That's not necessarily true.
Well, yeah, I've also heard a strong theory that I don't know if it's explicit or not, that because the end of 5Ds is we summon a giant dragon and change the future, that Zexel is what happened to the future. We switched to clean antimatter energy, guys. None of that weird dual monster nuclear energy.
Also, have you heard the theory that Zexel is in a parallel world to the other?
That is
show?
also probably another pretty good.
Because Zexel is already about 3 different worlds.
Yeah, Zexel is already a multi-dimensional setting.
Yeah.
As is, and this makes sense, as is Arc V. Arc V is explicitly... Arc V is just hilarious because they deliberately dodge there being a dual monsters universe. Like,
Arc V
you could
is
argue
awesome
that because
because they
GX
just didn't give a
exists, that
fuck.
it's because that's the same continuity, but that doesn't work when 5D's world also exists. And then we just
Arc
don't
V is
go to
awesome because they just didn't give a shit. They were just like, do whatever.
Well, Arc V is
Right,
interesting
you
because
said father
it's
made
a...
the speed
Arc
system.
V is interesting because it's an anniversary season. So they're like, all right, we're going to honor all the past years of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is it about Yugi? No, fuck you. We're going to make
Which, to be
lots of
fair, I'm
dragons.
glad about because his story was done.
I mean, that is a thing. We talked about this off mic as well, but like that is a thing where I'm kind of glad they don't go too much. Like Darkseid is actually a really good sequel because it's all about
No,
the fact that Atem is not fucking here. Like he is not here.
And Kaiba can't deal with it.
And yeah, Kaiba can't move on. Yugi has moved on. That one, that
Yugi is a
Aigami kid,
well-adjusted, normal human.
that Aigami kid moved on too much. Actually, no, he hasn't moved on
Yeah.
either. His thing is he hasn't moved on because Shadi is also dead because his job is done. I must go now. My planet needs me. Yeah.
No, Dark Side of Dimensions is... I'd say it's probably my second favorite movie, just because I have a very soft spot in my heart for Pyramid of Light. Because I saw
Pyramid
that
is really
movie,
interesting
like,
because it was
5 times in-
Pyramid is interesting because it was commissioned by 4Kids, basically.
But also, it's decent. Like, the only Yu-Gi-Oh movie I actually hate is Bonds Beyond Time.
The plot of Pyramid, and it's been a long time since I saw it. The plot of Pyramid makes sense in the Yu-Gi-Oh universe.
Yes, no,
Hey, we found
Dude,
an 8th
Anubis-
evil item. There's an evil god inside of it. He plays card games. Let's go.
well, it's just Anubis. It's
It's
literally just Anubis.
I mean, that's the dog shit part because Anubis is a guardian deity, and I'm sure this was
Yeah,
before
but he's
kids.
about death, and death is scary.
I know, it's that weird Western thing. They should have made it set. That would have made
just
sense.
I'll argue that it's not just a Western thing.
Yeah.
The death god is scary thing is kind of a.
Well,
There's a
yeah,
lot of cultures with that.
it goes back and forth, but it's a in modern times it's an American Christianized media problem. Oh no, there's a god who rules over the underworld. Well, clearly there's two underworlds, and one of them is heaven. And that's great. So if there's a god of the other underworld, he must be Satan. No, Disney's Hercules and also adaptations of Percy Jackson books that I don't talk about because you were bad.
To be fair, I always, and maybe this is a weird read, I always took Disney's Hercules as, like, Hades isn't technically a villain.
Oh, I mean, no. Like, James Woods' Hades he's the antagonist. He's not, like, super evil. He's just butthurt at Zeus for stealing all his goo.
Which, to be fair, being mad at Zeus is a very fair mood.
Yes.
Yeah.
The problem with Disney is they portray Hades as the antagonist, and they portrayed Zeus as, like, a cool dad bro, which is not how you should read those myths.
For all of, like,
Thank you.
2 seconds.
It's not how you should interpret that. But, like, in the actual Greek mythology, Hades is usually cool. His rules are, don't fuck with my wife, and don't play around in my house.
He's cool as. I have some problems with Hades.
I mean, there's varying interpretations to the kidnapping of Persephone, but that's one of those things that, like, is not in canon in the own Greek mythology. They went through many iterations of that. Outside of that incident,
I think he's the least problematic of the original male gods, which says a lot.
probably yes, but like
'Cause the
outside
other
of
two are
the
Poseidon
outside
and
of the
Zeus.
myth of how he got his wife, and even then, like at the very least,
Well,
that's-
also it's his niece.
I mean,
Which
yeah,
is-
but the gods don't care about that. That was a
Yeah, but that's so creepy.
I mean, yeah, that's a thing that reads different to our modern sensibilities. Lots of ancient cultures did that, like the Egyptians
No,
did the same way. I don't know why they didn't do that,
I'm
but
say that. Like, there's a lot of, like, this is gonna come off weird, and this, if I was more famous, this would probably get clipped. I can at least talk. I don't want to say, like, the brother sister thing doesn't bother me quite as much as niece, uncle, father, daughter.
oh
that is just
yeah, I mean, you
always
can
bothered
say
the
there's
shit out
a
of me.
yeah, you can say there's that weird power
Like-
imbalance thing there.
Like the brother sister thing is squicky, but I can get over it. It's the niece uncle specifically that I'm
Yeah.
just like,
Though to be
I
fair,
don't know
I
about
don't
this
think
one,
he
Chief.
I don't think he was exercising any like familial power. Hades just popped up to go see his brother and was like, "Wow, that girl's nice. Who is she?" And Zeus was like, "Oh yeah, that's my daughter with Demeter. Do you want to marry her?" And Hades was like, and Zeus was like, "Here she is. Go now. Flee. Flee in the
because
night."
Zeus is a fuckhead.
Yes, Zeus is an asshole. He's like, "Hey, you think my daughter's cool? Here, you can have her. You're my brother."
Okay, tell me I'm not alone in this. I just imagine if there was ever a modern interpretation of Zeus, he is just the most stoner dude bro of all time.
Probably. I mean, he was raised in the wild by Gaia and a sheep. Like,
Like, I just imagine Zeus as just the stoner frat boy douchebag of
some
all
some
time.
some big Rasta vibes. He plays hacky sack.
He
Yo,
just has a
man.
pair of bongos.
He would have a pair of bongos. He would have a pair of bongos, and poor Hera is just like, "Oh my God, Zeus,
I
stop
don't know
cutting the
about poor
bongos."
Hera. Hera is about shit to own
Oh,
up
I
to.
mean, yeah. Hera's problem is that it's a very deep cutting commentary. Hera's problem is that because Zeus is her husband, and king of the gods, she can't just cut his balls off and throw them into the ocean, like she
So
should.
she takes out her anger on everyone else.
Yes, on literally everyone. Like the only time I think that like she's not an asshole is
Yeah.
because she sponsors Jason, and then Jason is a huge asshole. Like Jason is Hera's favorite hero, and then he fucks it all up at the end.
Yeah.
Look, the only
Which is
god
why
I'm
Medea probably gets away with the only rule you don't break in Greek mythology.
the only two gods I'm pretty chill with of the original pantheon are just Hermes and Dionysus. That's pretty much.
Yeah, Hermes and Dionysus are kind of fucked up because they're basically Pan, but like they're fucked up in the perfectly normal way for gods. Like they're just like
Well,
Hermes is the god of
it's the
thieves and
The thing
pranksters.
about Hermes and Dionysus is for their followers that do fucked up shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, Hermes plays pranks, but he's basically a trickster god. Like he's a god of
Yeah.
traveling. He's a liminal deity. And Dionysus is just like, hey guys, you know what's rad? Wine. Get drunk. I would also say I think
Yeah.
Hestia is cool, but that's because Hestia doesn't do anything. Hestia just
Oh, no,
minds.
Hestia is also fine.
Hestia minds the divine hearth. Cool. Great. I'm so glad you don't get up to it. Like, that's her thing. She gets a gold star for not fucking anything up. Good job, you.
I look at your siblings and then I look at you. You haven't done much, but good job.
Yeah, basically. And you know, Poseidon is Poseidon. He's out here stealing your.
Poseidon's arguably worse than Zeus, which is impressive.
Yeah. I mean, Poseidon's
God,
a lot
to-
more
to
free
begin
balling. Also, that may be because of the Minoan culture we can't read, because to them, Poseidon was the chief god, and also I think there wasn't a Hades. Like, this is an actual matter of debate that I don't know about. I don't know if Hades and Poseidon were conflicated, or just Poseidon was the earthquake god, and so he was, and the sea god, and he was very important, and Zeus was not as important. Like, I don't know if
Which would make
the
sense.
Three Brothers thing was like the Minoan culture didn't make that up, but we don't know for sure because their real writing system is it linear A or B? One of the linear scripts we can't read. We just fucking can't.
So it's like Sumerian.
Yeah, it's
shit
like some of the
versus-
Sumerian
Yeah.
languages. One of the Minoan languages. One of the Minoan languages is just fucking lost, basically.
We're gonna find one of those Rosetta Stones one of these days. It's
Possibly.
gonna turn up and
We'll hope for it. We'll aim for it. We'll see what happens. That, or just, you know, God knows computers
Right.
might get so good that they can just solve our problems. Like, hey, computer, look at all these symbols that recur. Tell me what they mean.
Yeah.
Just pattern recognition. But we have faffed around this for a good. What's my stream time? All right, we've crossed 2 hours. We're done with Mist Valley for like half an hour. There's nothing to talk about there. They exist.
You guys want to have some duels or something?
Probably not on stream. I need to go log in and stuff. We'll probably
Yeah.
let these guys go. And I think some of us might have to go, so I don't even know if we're all gonna be here. But I think that's a good point to wrap up the streamies. That probably means that next time we should probably do X Saber Ice Barrier if we can make sure we have the time. Just because those are all part of the first gen, and we want to scooch them out of there. Like we've covered Flame Vels, we've covered Jirax, which I think are technically second gen.
Directs are second.
We hit Worm already. We did Allies of Justice. We did Flame Vel.
Yeah, the only two we haven't done from the original are Ice Barrier and
And X Saber, yeah.
X-Saber, yeah.
So we should get in there and just get those out of the way.
Although to be fair, X-Sabers are only very tertiarily hidden, because they were only ever in one.
Yes, and then they become double X Sabers, etc. But we do the whole thing at once just because there's no reason.
And
not to.
they were compared to in comparison to all of the times we were doing these hidden arsenal archetypes, and we're just like, these aren't very good. X-Sabers were in the meta for a long time.
Gotham's is good. Several of the X Sabers
Uh,
have inherent special summons, which is bullshit.
Bellum is
Yeah.
cracked ass tuner.
Yeah, I was gonna
for
say.
various-
Arbellum is
Yes.
pretty good. They have an in-archetype trap hole, basically.
Thol Troll is a beast.
Yeah. So, like,
Yeah.
X Sabers, we have a lot to positive to say, but we definitely need Loth for that because he likes the X Sabers. So, yeah, we'll probably do either X Saber or Ice Barrier next, depending on how we want to shake things out.
So
I
does that
would
mean
want
it's-
Loth for both, just so he can yell about Race Trader Wayne. That means we should do X Sabers first, though, because that introduces X Saber Wayne.
Oh yeah, I've been meaning to ask about that when I got the freezing chains deck.
Yes, Wayne either. Well, so the card was printed like the Ice Barrier version of Wayne was printed like 10 years later, and is also really good, by the way. That's one of the really, really good cards they printed for the structure deck.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's very
he was
useful.
just he wasn't even an extra deck, was he?
No, he's a main deck. So I assume that means that probably he became an X Saber after he was with the Ice Barriers, because usually the extra deck versions are the enhanced versions.
I would have guessed.
Or maybe they revived him, but he wasn't as good.
Who knows? Well,
Let me see if I can
Or
find
maybe
it
it's a
real-
different timeline.
That is
hold
the
on.
problem with
Oh.
so far Freezing Chains getting a structure deck in the year 2020. Or was it actually early this year? Was it 2021? It was in the 2020s. We'll put it that way. Is that means
Recently.
they got new cards way the fuck later than anybody else, other than Fabled, which got support in the set that came out recently. That was in
Yeah,
place-
maybe-
Flameville Structure Deck 2022.
I
God,
was
if
gonna
they
say
just, if
maybe-
they revived old school Flamevels, that would be so sick. I do think Flameville's getting reprints at least. In the
Retrace
Uh,
Fire Dog.
Okay, so General Wayne of the Ice Barrier, 5-star Water Warrior, 2100 attack, 400 defense. So I
I think
definitely
it's the
remember his
exact same
defense
stat
being
line.
here.
He's just a main deck and he's
Yeah.
a water.
Spells and traps. So he banishes opponent's spells and traps when they get used, rather than them going to the graveyard.
So his ability is completely different. Anyway, I have to head out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're wrapping up here. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We will be hitting you up with Fail Portrayal a little more regularly. I just needed the time to do it with all the moving and stuff, and I needed to know what to pick. But I hope we picked something good. And we glad you had you. Tomorrow we will be shooting Progression Tournament number 39, Generation Force. It's our first Xyz episode. Look forward to shiny new Xyz thumbnails. Actually, fuck it. I can end the stream by showing you what the thumbnail looks like. Give me a sec.
Although,
got it.
don't look forward to Xyz monsters because nobody pulled them.
I mean, I think with trades, we've got a few of the generic 3s distributed, but you will probably not see a lot of Xyz plays in our first wave, just because, much like with Synchros, and honestly worse than Synchros, because there's no playmaker. There's no Stardust equivalent to just be like, slam a Jamma.
Yeah.
But,
The-
you may be waiting a while to see Xyz plays, or you may see it as, a weird tech option. But...
Because let's be honest, probably the best one we can make right now that I know anyone has, Utopia out of the card bank.
Utopia or Leviathan Dragon can crash with Utopia or Stardust.
Yeah.
Livier is really good if you've got banished cards. But yeah, here's the Generation Force cover. We've got Xyz, we got the logo. It's a little the edges on some of the stuff is a little blown out because this is the full size. Obviously, you would see this smaller as a thumbnail. But yeah. So we're ready to rock, and we're gonna have some fun times. And Robin will be there, and Robin will not play a banned card.
Are you sure about that?
Well, if he doesn't, I get to yell at him for being a funny man. He gets to disappoint the viewers. So we will see you guys later. We're gonna record that tomorrow, and we'll throw it up on the usual day. So it's been real. Thanks so much for tuning in. All right, let's go. Goodbye, everybody. Say goodbye, all.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah.